Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of First Look, Final Word, the podcast where we take you along to see a movie with us. I'm Pete.
And I'm Trevor. What's going on, you representatives of the human race? You speak from fear, from a world still crawling out of its own shadow. You're clever but small-minded, primitive in vision. And yet, I see in you the spark, the capacity for something greater. You could be more if you entered into the light, if you dared. Hey, I'm Trevor. What's going on? Today we're talking about
I was not expecting that.
Today we're talking about Superman. I thought I'd try something incredibly sincere.
Where did you find that?
I kind of wrote a bunch of...
Oh, you wrote it. Okay,
well,
fair enough.
I can't take credit for writing because I smashed together a bunch of Superman quotes
Gotcha.
together and directed it at our audience.
Putting effort into our Superman episode here. I appreciate it.
Today we're seeing James Gunn's Superman. Superman, a journalist in Metropolis, embarks on a journey to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as Clark Kent. Nice and crisp synopsis there from Letterboxd.
I like that.
And I'm so excited about this one.
Yes.
Folks, if you're new to the podcast, Pete and I, we're going to the theater. We're going to see James Gunn's Superman. On the way, we're going to talk about our experiences with Superman, our history, maybe our expectations for the movie. And then on the way back, we're going to give you our spoiler-free reactions to the movie.
Yes, indeed. And
then go into spoiler talk, too.
Yeah.
I'll give you plenty of warning.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you're not a usual listener, we've been doing a full deep dive on Superman movies for the last 11 weeks, is it now?
Yeah, this is episode 11.
Episode 11 of our Superman series.
We're doing every single live-action, feature-length Superman film, starting with Kirk Allen in the 1940s.
The Wayback Machine.
Go to George Reeves, and then obviously Christopher Reeve.
Yep.
And Brandon Routh.
Yeah, your main man, Brandon Routh.
Did I get his name right?
Yeah, are you worried about that? I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. How else would you say it?
Let's not get into this.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, Brandon.
Through the Henry Cavill years, and now we're at in the David Corenswet era.
So that's how you say his name too?
I looked it up.
There you go. Good man.
So I know it's right.
We prepared this week, guys. We're really G'd up for this.
So it's been a long, strange, rewarding journey for me.
Yeah, so I was thinking that, 11 weeks of digging real deep into Superman has got my expectations, way high for this movie. If this is not my favorite movie of the year, I'm going to be upset.
I know,
which I don't know if it's a good thing.
It's been basically 3 months of just thinking about Superman all the time.
I know, right?
We've both been digging into the comics and stuff, which we hadn't really done that much of before.
Exactly, yeah. We've been getting into a lot of Superman over the past couple of months.
I've been revisiting some of my favorite DC animated movies and watching some blind spots. So I'm all Superman all the time now. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself after this.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I'm a bit like that too, but just put a nice little bow on the end of it all, and then we can look forward to future installments of Superman in the DCU, hopefully.
Well, hopefully, yeah.
At least I'm showing up. They got to do a Justice League at some point, I suppose.
But yeah, I have found this to be one of my favorite projects I've ever embarked on. I've really, really enjoyed catching up on Soup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's been amazing. Especially to going back to the very early ones and just going through everything has been amazing to do, because a lot of that stuff I'd never seen, but it's a lot of stuff I had seen, but just revisiting it, especially in the context of seeing all the different iterations, it's really fun to do. I recommend you guys do it too. Take us along, listen to our old episodes, and go back and watch every Superman film ever made. It's worth your time, I promise.
I triple dog dare you.
Right? Send us a comment on our old episodes and
saying, "Hey, I'm working."
So your Superman episode brought me here. Don't really care much about, I don't know, what some of the movies.
Fight or Flight, was it?
Yes. Yeah, you put in the time code. You don't have to listen to the Fight or Flight review.
So you had a bit of a laundry list for us to get through on the drive here, right?
Got something to keep us on track. I figured we'd just start off and just talk about this new DCU and what are our thoughts about it? What are our hopes and dreams and worries and just opinions so far? Because it's technically started, right, already?
Yeah, it technically started with
Creature Commandos.
Creature Commando. Yeah. I almost said Creature Cases because the kids' Netflix show.
Yeah, you got kids, you know what Creature Cases is. It's legit.
Yeah, and so are things like Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad part of it, or is it part of a separate?
That's what I find very interesting, because I know that Suicide Squad is I believe not going to be technically part of it, but I think they're gonna pick and choose what they want to keep and what they want to don't because they're doing like an Amanda Waller TV show.
Right. And like you can't recast
Oh,
Viola
they're not.
Davis
Yeah,
because
they're
she's
not.
just too perfect to
And
the
I think
role.
their plan is to like. Well, what I read was that they're going to use that as kind of a bridge because I think they want to bring Peacemaker in it too. Like everyone loves
Right.
Peacemaker, but like at the end of the first season of Peacemaker, the DCEU Justice League show up. So I think they're going to do some jiggery pokery and in that TV show to kind of I don't know what they're going to do, but that's going to be the reset of like, okay, these are the people that are now crossing over. It's the same actors, kind of the same people. Don't worry too much about what's happened before.
It's sort of what they did with Dame Judi Dench in the Bond
Exactly.
movies,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah, stuff like
she
that.
crossed over from the Brosnan because she's the one consistent part of those movies that
Yeah,
always worked. So
exactly.
they're like, well, we don't want to lose her, so
No.
we'll
Yeah.
keep her, and
We'll keep the
then
character,
but still
like,
reboot the character
yeah, we'll keep the
completely.
characters we like, jettison the ones that didn't work, and then we'll just move on.
What I find interesting too is that they are kind of embracing the comic style of movie making,
Yes.
and that like
Yeah.
some of the stuff is all going to be looped together, and some
Right.
stuff's just going to be its own standalone
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the hope anyway. I hope they figure out because it seems like a difficult thing to do.
Well, the difficult thing is not going to be for like total dorks like us keeping up with it. It's
To get the main audience
yeah,
interested.
because they're going to have multiple Batmans at the same
Yes,
time,
because
and
Robert
like it's
Pattinson is not part of that
yeah.
is that
So
I think they call it Elseworlds.
yes,
They have
exactly.
Elseworld stuff going on.
But to a casual movie fan who just wants to watch a
Yeah,
Batman movie, you'd be like, wait, I thought Robert Pattinson was Batman.
exactly.
Well, he is, but it's also,
Yeah, he's
this
not. He
guy.
doesn't know Superman. No. Yeah, I think that's why. Because I think they'd planned to do a Batman movie, but I think they've delayed that so that they can bring our Pat's second movie out.
Well, and people were harping on Matt Reeves for taking so long to finish that script.
Right.
But and yeah, like it's not going to necessarily fit in the same tone as this whole universe, and
Yeah.
it's I like the approach in that like you can have a consistent universal tone, but then still have like these independent projects.
Yeah. It's such a difficult fine line to walk though. Like I wouldn't want his job to try and figure all that out, but I think they're doing the right thing. It seems like they're not rushing things out. They're just like, there's a lot of things they're working on. They're like, no, we're not moving this forward until it's like super right and it's going to work well.
Well, I would 100% want his job. Like you could just like
I guess so.
just
I
like
guess so.
planning out how you're gonna like do the Justice League and like
But it must be so difficult
who
to
should
figure out.
yeah, but who my current job is difficult. It's not nearly this interesting. It's
Fair enough. Fair enough.
like who am I gonna cast for Martian Manhunter and should he have his own standalone movie? Like those are the kinds of
It's
decisions
gonna
I
keep you
want to
up
be
all night.
making.
It's gonna keep you up all night, Trevor.
So but yeah, it's difficult. Like the experiment that they're doing, having a filmmaker run that studio is so interesting. Like Pixar is really the only comparison where they do that.
I
And
mean,
like
he hasn't had like his comic book stuff that he's done so far. He hasn't really had a miss yet, I would say.
no, like yeah, certainly in terms of quality, like he's
Yeah.
just
Like Guardians movies are all very good. Peacemaker was great. So I liked his Suicide Squad movie. I thought it was pretty fun.
I wonder if I've seen everything he's done. So
Well,
he's also done Slither and
oh yeah, you mean outside
Super.
of superhero stuff?
Yeah, like
Like,
I'm trying to think if I have seen every. Well, like when he came out of Trauma, right? So like I
yeah,
think he
yeah.
did some of those like B
Yeah, I think he's got
disgusting
some stuff.
movies,
Yeah,
which like I like some Trauma stuff.
yeah. I don't think he's got a certified hit on every single thing he's done, but comic book related, like
Yeah,
I would say so.
but he's a like born and bred genre guy.
Exactly.
So it's so interesting that he's running such a mainstream
Yeah,
project.
it's weird, right? But yeah, but I mean, all power to his elbow, man. I feel I'm happy for him to do well. I want DC to do well.
Yeah, I mean, like, and he's bringing in great directors to
Yeah, he
helm
is.
projects. Like Mike Flanagan's gonna do a Clayface movie. Like I am beyond excited for that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Is there anything that's been rumored or they flat out said they're doing that you're super excited about?
Well, I
Super.
like since
Sorry.
since watching, I'm gonna do it too. Since watching Supergirl,
Right.
I've been thinking like this should be so easy to do,
Yes.
and I am really wanting there to be a good Supergirl movie.
Well, I mean, they've cast that girl from the Game of Thrones show, right?
Yeah,
Millie Alcock, is it?
Your guess is better than
Yeah,
mine.
Amelia Alcock, I think her name is. She was really good in that show. I really liked her. But
Yeah.
I don't know that they're basing it off that comic run Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with
I'm
it.
not familiar with that either, and I hear it's very different. It's a very different kind of story. So maybe I'll have to pick that up because I don't know what that means. I'm scared. But yeah, I'm here for a great Supergirl movie,
Because like she is a good character, and
right?
people don't like really have good exposure to that in the
Yeah.
movies.
I mean, yeah, I think that movie kind of
The
they
movie
they
stunk.
put the kibosh on that character because
Yeah, well, like,
they
and
were already like Hollywood already didn't want to make a movie with female
well,
leads like that.
exactly.
And
Like
then
it.
that one just tanked because it was so bad. And it wasn't the fault of her at all. She was great.
So yeah, that's the one that I'm interested in. Like I did see they're coming out with like a Lanterns project, which I think
Yeah, I'm
is
really
that a
seeing
TV
that.
show
It's a
though?
TV show, and it's supposed to be like a True Detective style. So it's like on Earth, and it's just them investigating something that's happened, like crimes.
I honestly got lightheaded. Like that's such a good
All
idea.
right, and I saw a quote from Nathan Fillion this week because he's in it, and he said
Yeah.
he says the he drops the F bomb in that more times than he's ever said it in his career.
Okay, great.
So I'm really here to just see Guy Gardner swearing his head off while they just like investigate horrible murders. I guess I'm here for it.
And he's just gonna have to have a bad haircut for that whole run.
I know. Can you believe it?
Or that must be a hair. That must be a wig, right?
Yeah, oh, it's gotta be. It's gotta
Okay.
be.
I hope so for like
I
the
mean, you've
sake of
seen it. You've
his.
seen his hair, right? Come on now. He's got great head
He's
hair.
got great hair.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be shaving it off like that or having it that do forever.
So, anything that you're excited about?
Ah, pretty much everything. Do you know it seemed like the new one of the big ones they're doing is this movie called The Authority. Have you heard of this?
I've seen the title. I
I
don't
don't
know
know what
what.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
what
what it
it's
is.
about either. That's why I asked because I didn't know if you knew about it, but yeah, that seems like it's something. It's like one of those things. It's like when he did Guardians. It's like I'm just going to do a wild swing with this little known thing that's totally its own separate thing, and I'm just going to swing for the fences on this weird concept, and hopefully it works.
What? And it really does seem like they're just piling ahead with a lot of these projects without
Yeah,
really knowing how
yeah,
the audience is going to be reacting to them.
yeah, and I think what I'm wondering if maybe they were just waiting to see is there an appetite for this, and we'll see what Superman does. Because if Superman tanked and nobody cared, then they would probably have to rein a lot of this stuff back in.
Yeah.
But my hope is that I mean this seems to be getting well reviewed. I'm hoping it makes a ton of money and gets a lot of great praise, and then they just like open the floodgates, and it's just like DC projects are coming.
Well, I hope so because
Yeah,
like there's lots of great stories to
there are.
explore.
And I'm hopeful that they take the right lessons from the MCU, especially like in the early days, and like properly plan stuff out and properly make sure the quality is there when you put stuff out,
Well,
which they've not been doing a great job of lately on the Marvel side. Let's be honest.
but it seems like DC is planning on doing some smaller projects, which I think is a really good idea. Like,
Yeah,
do some movies for $50 million
yeah, right. That's the
that
thing.
can get the hardcore fans out there, and you don't have to make $750 million for it to be profitable.
Yep, exactly. It's like why not just make a movie where they're just investigating a crime
Yeah,
in a town? Like just because they're Green Lanterns, like yeah, they can do weird stuff with their rings every now and again, but it's not necessary if you just make a great show.
you like have two special effects shots in the episode, right? It would be enough to get people.
Right? That's all you need. Just have him do something cool with his ring once and then just move on. Yeah. All right, yeah, that's pretty much all I had on that stuff for the DCU. Do you want to get more into more Spider-Man specific stuff? No, you better. Sorry,
Spider-Man
Spider-Man,
specific.
man.
What?
Yeah, let's not get into Spider-Man. Superman,
Okay,
Superman specific
that
stuff.
really threw me for
Yeah,
a
we can talk
curveball.
about Spider-Man on a different episode, maybe.
A different time.
We'll do that when the next when the next Spider-Man movie
We'll
comes
cover
out. We'll do
cover
that.
every Spider-Man movie. Why not?
Yeah, when's Across the Spider-Verse coming out or whatever that movie's called?
5 years from now?
There you go. We'll do a big project then, because I'd be there for that. Anyway, let's talk about Superman. That's why we're here. So you mentioned earlier that we've been getting into comic books and animated stuff. So why don't should we talk about some of that stuff? What have you been reading, Trevor?
Well, as I've heard that this one has connections with All-Star Superman.
Yes,
So that's one
yes.
I bought a few
Me
months
too.
ago.
Yeah, me too. Well,
And
you lent it to me, so you know.
I just really loved it. Like, and it's often cited as the best
Yeah,
Superman comic.
it's a great book.
But it's such a great collection of stories into like an overarching story. God, I sound like an idiot.
There's lots of stories in this story. It's really storyful.
And it seems like that's kind of where this movie's going to. Like, there's just like a lot of like little vignettes that are coming in and out. Like,
I was wondering about that.
I don't know exactly how this is going to relate to All-Star Superman, because this is like David Corenswet is playing like a younger Superman, right? Whereas All-Star Superman is an older, wiser
that's
Superman.
Kind of where my head was at, because I read it too, and I watched the animated movie as well last night, actually, which was really faithful to the book. It was like they just took pages out of it.
Yeah.
And they did cut a lot out, obviously, which I think worked well, because some of the stuff in that is a bit too far out to put in a mainstream movie, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of had the same thoughts that you did. It's like, I get that this Superman looks like he's supposed to have been around for a while, because they're kind of just introducing other superheroes as like known entities in this universe. So I don't think it's going to be like an origin story or anything. But yeah, to your point, is a young man. Like, that's not really what that book was about.
I mean, like, yeah, All-Star Superman, like, he has like candor
exactly, like
in the fortress.
It's everything. It's like everything you know about Superman has already happened.
Yeah, like he's had encounters with Bizarro so many times, like he can't even count.
That would be ballsy though if they just did that. Like when they introduced Lex Luthor in this movie, it's just like, yeah, this is Lex. We all know who Lex Luthor is. Like, I've known him for years and years and years. It's just another thing we're dealing with. I feel like, okay, fair enough. I just don't know how they do that in a movie like this, though. But you know what? I'm happy to see how he does it.
It's really great. Like, if people have been waiting to watch this movie first before reading that, like, I definitely would recommend looking into it. I could confidently say this movie's not going to end the same way that comic ends.
I would be very interested,
because it wouldn't make any sense.
But no, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. But it'd be a ballsy move to try and end it that way. But anyway, we won't get into that because it might be spoilery.
Yeah. But no, then I also read like the Death of Superman and the Reign of Superman arcs, which was really good. And like,
I remember reading those a long time ago, but I didn't get a chance to reread them.
Yeah, like they've been covered basically in the movies.
Yeah,
a bunch.
The people, a lot of stuff pulls from that, because it was such an iconic arc for that character. So.
In the DC animated movies, which I've watched almost all of them, they've done that arc twice now.
They've always had such high quality with those animated movies, though. Like,
they're incredible. Like they're really good.
Really well with that. All the Batman stuff, all the Justice League stuff, it's all so great.
The Batman Year One, I really love.
Right. There's so many of them as well.
Crisis on Two Earths, I think, is my favorite.
Yeah, that is a good one.
And like they get these stacked casts, because like you get James Woods playing Owlman in that one,
right,
and he's one of the best villains ever, just like as a voice actor. Like, it's so incredible.
Yeah, it always used to boggle my mind how DC seem to be doing so well on the animated stuff, and so well on the TV stuff as well, like the live action stuff. I know a lot of people are not into the Arrowverse stuff and that, but I mean, it was popular and it was pretty well done for what it was. And then they could never nail it with the movie universe. So I'm hoping that changes, because these stories are amazing and they should be told on the big screen. Well,
yeah, it's tough. It's tough to get the right tone. Is the thing.
It is. It definitely is, especially when you're dealing with all different characters. But you know what? James Gunn got it. I hope. I hope we don't come out of this and be like, you know what? I thought it was a bit shit.
Well, I was just saying to Pete that I think like Dune 2 is the only other movie that I've been this excited for.
Yeah.
And like, I knew I wasn't going to be disappointed in that one.
Yeah,
like,
we had big expectations going into that one as well.
I know I'm going to like this movie. It's just whether this is going to be a 5-star movie for me is the question.
I'm expecting it to be very, very enjoyable. I'm sure I'm going to have some nits to pick with it, like I normally do. I think there's going to be some stuff that probably niggles me, just because it's going to be different.
I'm going in, like, my floor is like a 4-star movie. Like, I would be very surprised if it's anything below that.
Yeah, me too.
So probably devastated if it's anything below that.
Yeah, if it's just fine, then it's gonna seem like we're totally devastated, which is kind of stupid, because just fine is okay for a lot of movies.
Just fine is just fine, but not for this one, because it's like this is basically Iron Man, but with the expectations that this needs to be Iron Man. This needs to launch an entire like $1 trillion franchise.
Do you think they're gonna do a post-credit scene? I haven't looked that up.
Interesting. I haven't thought about that before,
I hadn't, but when you said it's like Iron Man, I was like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna do like a Nick Fury scene at the end.
I would kind of hope that they would just take this opportunity to not do a post-credit scene.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's a bit presumptuous, right? Like, I think
'Cause
Marvel kind of paid themselves into a corner having to do them, and then they started shoehorning stuff in that that's never paid off.
Yeah,
There's so many things that just never panned out.
When has the last good post-credit scene? But you know what? Thunderbolts was pretty good,
Thunderbolts
actually.
was pretty good, but I mean, even that though was a bit unnecessary. Let's say.
Yeah, the recent Captain America had two terrible ones.
Yeah, that movie just did not work, sadly.
But no, like I think that they would want to move away from that sort of thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I'm just so excited to see it, Trevor. I need to chill out, I think.
So, did we want to talk about our favorite movies, and then kind of try to get a ranking together and see where this new movie would fit in?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I also wanted to talk about the TV.
Oh, that's right. Okay, let's do that because we could always do that on the way back.
Yeah, because maybe we'll do a ranking when we've seen the new one, and we can slot that one in. Like number one, the new one, which would be surprising, but
I would be surprised if that was the case.
Yeah, because it's something we haven't really talked about much. I mean, we might have mentioned it here and there, but we haven't really talked about the other live-action Superman that we've not really got into in our rewatch because we didn't do any of the TV Superman. So started off with who was the first? Would be Dean Cain, right?
It would be
Dean Cain was the first.
George Reeves,
Lois and Superman or whatever it's called.
Lois and Clark, like to be a little cheeky with
yeah.
But yeah, like George Reeves was on the TV show in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, we did kind of talk about that.
Well, I guess just the 50s. The movies were late 40s.
But like the first one to play him on TV but never have a movie, I guess, would have been Dean Cain.
Dean Cain, yeah, and that's one that like I would occasionally walk into the room when my parents were watching it, right? I didn't really have much of an interest in it.
Yeah, I've not really rewatched it anytime lately, but I remember really quite liking that one. I thought the pair of them were quite well done. Did a good job of that Superman and Lois relationship because that's what it was mostly about, right?
Yeah, well, and I remember thinking that like Terry Hatcher looked like a babe in that show.
Yeah, Hot Lois.
But no, that's like I feel like I can't comment on it because it's just been so long since I've seen it. Like
I don't really.
I watched a few clips and like it looks a little corny, like looking back on it now. But I don't know if that's fair.
It was of the time, right? It was that corny kind of time, and I don't remember at all his Clark. I don't think he really had a good Clark, which I feel like
that's the litmus test.
Yeah, some Supermen just have a Clark and some don't, because that's another.
Yeah, like I don't know, like if I would say any of the live action ones we've seen have not had like at least a serviceable Superman, but some of them don't even have like a decent Clark Kent, which like Clark's harder to do.
Yeah, and I think like especially because Chris Reeves did it so well.
Yeah.
Like that's like the benchmark for me, and it's like he did that so well. Like they were two totally different characters he was playing, and you could see that it was all in his performance. And I've not really seen that before. It's more like they put glasses on and then just do regular.
That's sort
Superman.
of it. Like so, I've mentioned before that I've seen every episode of Smallville.
I was gonna say, so going into Smallville, but he wasn't playing Superman. He was playing Clark.
Yeah, exactly. So he was Clark the whole time, and I'm gonna give Tom Welling credit, and that I think he had like a pretty good like brooding, emotional teen, even though he was fucking 25 when he started the show. Clark Kent, like he's playing the Clark Kent that his parents would know.
Right.
He's not playing Clark Kent as a facade.
Right.
Like we're trying to convince people he's a loser.
Yeah, it wasn't a character he was putting on to hide who he really was. It was just who he was.
So in the later shows, like he's working at the planet,
Right. Yeah, because I dropped off that show, so I never got to those later ones.
The later, like it struggles when they leave Smallville.
Yeah, I figured it would. That's why I kind of stopped.
At this point, you're just like, why aren't you Superman yet? Yeah. Because like these other Kryptonians come to the planet and they seem to figure it out how to fly pretty damn quickly.
It's like you're 40 years old. Come on. Because by that point, hadn't they like met most of the Justice League and a bunch of other characters and stuff, and the Flash and
They met
Green Arrow, and like, everyone shows up, and he's still just like, no, I'm just Clark Kent.
met Green Arrow for sure. I can't remember. Oh yeah, he met the
I
Flash.
think Aquaman was in it on one episode, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah,
or some version of an Aquaman.
yeah, just a guy who likes to
Could
swim.
swim real well, but I think his name was Arthur. I don't know.
But yeah,
Misremembering it.
he doesn't excel in that. Anyone who met him would know instantly that that's Superman, right? Like, and that's
Yep.
like, and I understand these are works of fiction, and there has to be a suspension of disbelief a little bit.
Yeah. It's
But
tough to do as well when you're doing that
when
show.
when the bar is Christopher Reeve,
Yeah.
like it's pretty tough because that guy fucking nailed it. Like
Yeah,
he
he did.
just hit it out of the park.
Mhm.
He is the perfect Superman and the perfect Clark Kent.
All right, I can't argue with that. No, I don't think anybody would.
No. And so like who else has a good Clark Kent?
I want to talk about something that I love, and I know you haven't seen, so I'll just talk about it. But it's the Superman from the CW, Superman and Lois show. Tyler Hoechlin, I think you say his name. I don't really know how to say his name, but I'm pretty sure it's Hoechlin. And he's a great Superman. Like
You've said this before.
yeah, you need to watch this
it.
show, Trevor. Honestly, you would like it. It's great. He's a great Superman. He's got a great Clark, and it's like it's like very subtle. It's not like it's not as much as he just puts glasses on and then pretends he's Clark. Like he very subtly is a different character, but it's not as well done as Chris Reeves. Obviously, he doesn't do it that well, but I think he just does a really great job of just like it's definitely a different character when he's Clark, and when he's Superman, it's a different character. And he just looks awesome, and Lois in that show is really good as well. And they do a different take on it where it's like he settled down with Lois, and they've basically retired to Smallville, and they've got kids, and it's like a family show.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Do the kids have powers?
They don't start with powers, but then they're like,
Well,
"Oh,
spoiler! You gotta cut this out of the episode."
They don't start with powers, and they maybe or maybe won't get
Well,
powers at some point.
It would be pretty damn boring if they never got
Exactly,
powers,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, like,
And there's
we've all
different
seen
things-
The Incredibles.
And there's different things you can do with that, right? Where like, when do they get their powers? Are they ever going to get their powers? And then it becomes like an allegory
So-
for like going through puberty and stuff like that. So
So they're working the farm and stuff?
yeah, it's a lot like The Incredibles in Smallville. Pretty much.
Okay. I can get behind
And
that.
like so, like Lana Lang's back in it, and she's like his high school friend. And
Are they as incompetent at running a farm as every other Kent
well, I
is?
don't
in
think they
all of the
really.
other
Yeah, I don't
media?
think they really run a farm. Like they start up as like a small town, the Smallville Gazette, and they kind of like run that and stuff.
Okay.
But I think they still technically work for the planet. I can't remember what exactly their jobs are, but it's like one of those things where it's not really important, and it is kind of CW, so it's very like soap opera-y stuff. So like some of the acting is a bit ropey, especially from some of the side characters. But
I'm used to that.
yeah,
It's
but
okay.
it works.
Yeah, that's
It
not
worked really well, and I just thought they did some really cool stuff with it. But I was in the bag for a lot of that CW stuff anyway, so I was kind of invested in a lot of that stuff because it's like
Is it tied into that stuff?
a little bit like there's a crossover with some of the characters because that's where the characters started, but it's not technically part of that. So it is and it isn't. When it wants to be, it is, and when it doesn't want to
Right.
be, it ignores it. And I think it was like because they did a Crisis on Infinite Earths on that show as well. So I think it's one of those like, oh, it's actually its own little universe over there. So we won't talk about Supergirl or she doesn't exist in this reality anymore. It's like that's fine.
Well, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, please do, because I would love to hear your opinion on it. Because like I honestly think he's my second favorite Superman.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
That, like, out of all the live action Superman, I would pick him as my second favorite.
Just based on like the fact that he does a good job for both.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just really likable character. Like, that's the thing about Superman. Like he should be likable,
Yeah.
and he should be awe-inspiring, and like he should have a massive heart, and he really does. And I think some of the other Supermen kind of lost that and just made it more about him dealing with like what it's like to be a god and have all these powers.
So are you speaking about Henry Cavill in particular?
Because I love Henry Cavill Superman, but at the same time, I don't get the sense that he's a big lovable, like, good guy. He just seems like he's too pensive and
Well, he's going through a lot.
yeah,
And like
it's just
so
very sad and worried all the time.
the ask is definitely different.
Yeah, oh no,
Of
that's
him.
what they were trying to do. So that's why I'm not trying to say I don't
Yeah.
like his performance, because I think he did a great performance for what they were what Zack Snyder was trying to do in those movies. I just didn't enjoy that Superman as much.
Yeah. But you know how Lex Luthor found out that Clark Kent was Superman?
In what?
In those movies, in the Snyder movies.
I can't remember.
He looked at him.
Yes.
He said, "That's obviously Superman. Why is
Yep.
no one seeing this? He talks the exact same. He talks the exact same way. He's just wearing glasses. This guy is like the most well-built person I've ever seen in my life."
That is what they always do, though, right? Like
That's
it's like how he's supposed to be the smartest man one of the smartest men on the planet, and he still can't figure out who Superman is.
yeah. Well, like I don't want to keep going back to this well, but
No.
like I
Go back to the
believe
comic books.
no, I believe that Christopher Reeve is a different person when he's playing Clark
Well,
Kent.
yeah, and that's exactly it, right? Like,
The thing I love about All-Star Superman
Yeah.
is Superman like contorted his body into
man,
weird
yeah.
shapes
yeah,
so
like
that
he made him look out of shape.
he,
Makes
like,
him look out of shape,
he-
and his
he-
hair's all different.
like basically like the frame's the same, but like he makes his face fat. He like gives
Yeah.
himself like a belly.
Yeah, not
Um,
sure how he does that, but it's comic books, so do whatever you want.
I don't know. Like it's more. It makes more sense than like him giving out like these roofie kisses to Lois Lane all the time.
Well, I mean, it's
I'm-
one of those things. It's just inherently you can't do that in a very believable way to make it like. But there was a couple of things I think it was in All Star Superman when like Lois Lane is like when he comes out to Lois Lane. Spoilers for that book. And she's like, well, what about when Superman was your bodyguard? And he was
Right.
like, oh,
It's like the
Batman,
Batman.
Batman pretending,
It's like,
or it
oh, that
was a robot. Yeah. So the stuff like that, I think you need.
So there's plausible deniability.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's obviously Superman. It's like, well, it can't be because he stood right next to him. And you're like, okay, I guess he just looks real like him. And then once you've got that, then you can sort of run with it.
What's a good segue to talk about the animated series,
Yes,
which I was a
okay.
big fan of from the '90s
I never watched it.
because it was like Bruce Timm,
Yeah.
like same guy who did the Batman
Yeah,
animated
yeah.
series, and one of the things in that one was, I think it was the first introduction of Bizarro.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Clark is just at the side of the road or whatever, and then he gets bumped and he starts falling off a cliff, and then Superman comes and saves him.
Oh, okay.
But Clark doesn't actually know what the fuck's going on. He's like, thanks, Superman. He's like, yeah, no problem. And then just like later you see that Superman turn into Bizarro or whatever.
Right,
But then
right.
like that just gives like him plausible deniability in the future that
it's like, sweet.
you're different people.
It's like, remember when he saved me? How could it be me?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just what I mean. You just need to do it once and have everyone see it, and then you can basically just go around looking exactly like him. It's like, oh, it's just a coincidence.
So yeah, I like if you've never gone through that whole series, it's pretty good.
No, I haven't-
It's not as
I
good as
haven't watched
Batman,
it.
obviously,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's got some really good storylines in it.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that. I
They
want to do a rewatch of Batman animated series as well.
They tick off like pretty much every villain too.
Yeah.
Like, well, for the most, like it's been a long time since I watched it, but did we miss any live action Superman people? Like, I guess
I don't
like
think so.
Kirk
Tom Welling,
Allen and
yeah.
George Reed.
There was a couple more, I think, that did like one-off things. I think there was a TV movie or something, but I heard it was absolute garbage. They did like a Superboy movie, I think, or a TV.
a Superboy movie.
Yeah. I was looking it up, and there's a couple of others where it's like, hey, this guy, you remember? And I hadn't even heard anything about it, and I think it was just one of those. Like quick, we'll do a quick, we'll do a cheap, we'll
to
do a
keep
cheap,
rights
yeah,
or
we'll do a
something?
cheap and
Yeah.
easy movie and just throw Superman on it. But no one ever heard of it or watched it. I guess we could mention, from the Flash movie, because I did rewatch the Flash movie, this week, like the Ezra Miller Flash movie,
Right.
and that kind of brought about the Nick Cage Superman that
Right.
that never was. So I don't know if you count that. It was like fully CG Nick Cage Superman, but he had a couple of scenes and he was fine about.
Well, I just saw screen tests of Josh Hartnett's Superman
Oh, really?
floating around today.
Oh man, he would have been a great Superman.
I think he had to look for it too. Like, and
Yeah.
yeah, he's a pretty
He's a
good
good
actor.
actor.
So I think he would have done a good job. Just happened the wrong time.
Yeah.
Like they ended up getting shelved for a bit, then they ended up doing like the Brandon Routh version.
Right.
And I said on that episode, our Superman Returns episode,
Yeah.
that I don't think he had Clark Kent at all.
Who's this? Sorry.
Brandon
Brendan
Routh.
No, he didn't. I mean, he was trying to do a Chris Reeve impression, and it was to me it was a good try. Like I could see what he was trying to do.
It was an approximation.
Yeah, but it was. It was just it was like a cheap copy, really.
Yeah, and I feel bad for him. He's a listener, obviously.
Yeah, and honestly, I think I would have loved to see him get another crack at it. To be honest with you, I like it felt.
That's fair.
It's felt to me like that movie, which wasn't very good, and had Superman doing weird shit. So
Well, it's kind of just boring.
yeah, that's what I mean. He didn't really have anything to do apart from be creepy and boring. But like,
And just
that
like
but that
stalk
one
his
scene-
ex-girlfriend.
The one scene where the plane crash scene, though, I think is still an awesome Superman scene. But it was just in a boring movie
I don't really like that scene because I think he
because
looks.
of the end of it.
No, because I think he just looks like a CGI
Well, there is that
ball of mess
yeah,
there.
The effects didn't hold.
Just like, yeah, let's do his hair in post. I don't fucking understand that mentality at all.
That was the one where like I think that was the first time they did like fully CGI cape.
Yeah, like
It's just like a bit odd, but
that's
I
that's
get
some.
it. It's got to be hard to film with. But then I see like the behind the scenes of the Chris Reeves movies, and they had like 50 different capes. Like this is his walking around cape. This is his flying vertically
Yeah,
up cape.
but, like-
it's like it looks way better though.
It's called filmmaking, man. You got to figure this stuff out.
Right?
Because you know what? Some assholes are going to watch it 50 years from now, then look at it and say it looks stupid.
Exactly.
That's why you got to get it right.
Yeah. So I would have loved to see him have a crack at doing another movie that was better made, but
Well, and they're also asking him to like, hey, this guy who nailed it, just do his thing. Like,
right.
don't put your own spin on the character. You got to do his thing. So it's kind of unfair to judge him in that, like,
I think
because he didn't get to do his own thing.
I have a soft spot for him as well because I think I've mentioned in the past as well, but he was in the DC universe on the
Yeah.
CW. He played the Atom, and
Oh, didn't you say he played Jonathan Kent in
no,
something,
no,
or what am I thinking of then?
well, what he did do when they did their Crisis on Infinite Earths on the CW, they brought him back as Superman. He played like the Kingdom Come Superman.
Okay,
He just showed up so they could reprise Superman. I was like,
Oh.
oh, he got to do it again, but it was like one scene.
that's good for him.
Yeah, and even honestly, if you've not seen some of those, might be
No.
worth watching the Just a Crisis arc because they had Tom Welling come in and and they had what's his name who does Batman? Who always does the Batman voices.
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy came and played a live action.
Well, that's good.
Like, I mean, it wasn't it wasn't very well done. I'm not gonna like try and say it was, but it was cool to see.
That's probably to like get people some health insurance or whatever. Like,
Yeah, like the Tom Welling stuff was pretty cool because it was like he was like obviously older and he'd given up his powers to just have a life with Lois, and Lex Luthor shows up and is like, "What do you mean you gave up your powers?" Like, yeah, I'm just like hanging out.
Was it like Michael Rosenbaum?
No, it was
or
John
whatever?
Cryer.
Oh, that's. I would like to see John Cryer.
Honestly, just
as
watch
Lex
that.
Luthor.
Just watch that arc. It was only like 4 or 5 episodes, and it's worth seeing just to say you've seen it. It's not great, but it's funny.
Man, I'd love to see like just the full list of that call sheet.
Yeah, it would have been nuts. But yeah, and you know what? Not to go off on a tangent, but they even shouted out Doom Patrol. Have you ever watched Doom Patrol?
I've watched a few episodes. I couldn't get into
I
it.
loved Doom Patrol. Like that kind of stuff was what I was just into all that stuff. But yeah, they kind of tied all that up, and that's why I appreciate when it's like we're tying it all up as one big universe, even though these shows are random.
Right.
Like what was that Teen Titans show they did as well? Like Titans. You ever watch that?
Like the cartoon one?
No, the live action one.
No, I didn't even know about this one.
Yeah.
But no, I love the Teen Titans cartoon show. It was
Like,
great.
they tried to do like a darker, like gritty. Like the first episode
Yeah, like
had Nightwave saying like "fuck Batman." So like, come on now,
I
guys.
say teens shouldn't swear, okay?
Yeah, they were trying to make it edgy. That's how you make it edgy. I never watched it, to be honest. Anyway, that's enough talking about nonsense. Is there anything else we want to talk about? We have made it to the theater here.
I just really hope it's good. I'm scared.
Oh, you know what I did want to mention? I watched the Christopher Reeve documentary, Super/Man, last night.
I've been meaning to watch
Have
it.
you not watched it? Man, I don't know if it was a good idea for me to watch it last night. It was very late and I put it on because I really wanted to watch it and it destroyed me.
Oh
It
wow.
really destroyed me. But it's really well done and it's a real good look at what he went through and all that stuff. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen Super/Man, it came out last year, I think. It's a very well done documentary about Christopher Reeve and his life.
Man, I'm getting sad.
I know, yeah. I mean, when it starts talking about like, because I didn't realize Robin Williams was like Christopher Reeve's best friend.
I didn't know that
Yeah,
either.
they were roommates at Juilliard, and they were like,
Wow.
yeah, and they were like, and when he had his accident, Robin Williams was like pulled him out of the muck and was like, he's like his like best like dude. He was his hype man, And then, like, because I'm not to ruin it, but there was a quote in the movie, like, if Chris had survived, like, I think Robin would still be with
Yeah.
us today. So he's like, really took it hard.
Well,
I'm
like,
choking up
man,
again.
well,
I shouldn't have watched it last night.
honestly,
I should have waited.
I really want to watch it now.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Just make sure you're in the right
honestly,
headspace, because I was destroyed when I watched it.
well, like, when Robin Williams died, like, that was a death that hit me.
That's what I mean.
like,
Like,
really hard.
Even when he just showed up in that movie, I was just like gutted because I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well,
oh my
because
God,
guys of
you're
our generation
so
like
miss
loved
Williams.
Robin Williams.
It's always such a ball of
Yeah.
energy and just like fun and just like always wanted to make people laugh and happy. It's just like, oh, it makes me so sad.
When I've seen Christopher Reeve in so many other non-Superman things, but this
I haven't.
well, go see Remains of the Day.
Yeah, they showed a lot in the documentary last night. Like he really did some. Like obviously he wanted to distance himself from Superman.
It's tough to do.
But I didn't even know. I didn't even realize he did a movie. He did Rear Window after his accident. Did you know that?
He did a remake of Rear Window.
Yeah, like he was. I think it's a remake. It said it was Rear Window, and it was him. Like
like the
paralyzed.
Yeah, the original is Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah,
the
original was like broken leg, but I don't know if it's the same. I don't know if it's the same story as like he sees stuff out the window and stuff. But yeah, he basically starred in a movie while he was paralyzed.
Oh yeah, I had no idea.
No, neither did I. And he directed a movie, a TV movie with like Glenn Close and Whoopi Goldberg. And it's apparently very good.
Okay.
This is his first ever directorial.
I was gonna say this project made me realize like how like good of an actor he was. So
and that's what,
and we're still talking about him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Well, that's why it destroyed me so much because I mean it's horrible for anyone to deal with that kind of accident, but like it's one of those things where it's like a sliding doors thing. It's like what would the world have been like if like he carried on and like his career had continued and
well maybe he could have appeared opposite John Cryer in that.
Yeah, maybe they would have had him on the CW, right?
I'm sure that'd be a pretty good get.
It would have been a good get. Maybe they could have used him in the Flash movie rather than that horrible CGI effort they did.
Yeah.
Oh, rewatched that this week and that was depressing.
I don't know why you would rewatch that.
And I forgot that they had Supergirl with him as well in that CGI shot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was horrible. I remember quite liking that Flash movie when we first watched it, and I watched it again this week, and it's bad.
Well, just compare it to the animated Flashpoint Paradox.
I did watch that,
which like
we forgot to talk about that. That is so good.
It's like it's perfect,
and
it's like it's like an hour and 20 minutes, and it's just like it just does everything it needs to do.
It's so well done. I wish they'd done more of that in the movie. I wish they'd gone that route and done like Thomas Wayne.
Yeah,
I mean, they could have just said
just have Michael Keaton as Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd never thought of that, but I guess they wanted to just tie it up to the old movie. Didn't make any sense though. Why would that? Why would he be an old Batman? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, just let's not make this an episode about the Flash.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so we have arrived at the theater.
Yeah, let's get going, man. Let's get one of those fancy cups.
So if yeah, I really want to get a cup. If you're new to the podcast, Pete and I are going to go inside and watch Superman, then come back and give you our immediate spoiler-free reactions before giving you plenty of warning before heading into spoiler talk.
Yep. Then we'll get into, is David Corenswet's Superman better than Tyler Hoechlin's? Yes or no? That's what I'm looking for.
So number one is untouchable, right?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to do it.
All right, I say yes because I've never seen do it.
You've not seen either of them.
Yeah. Well, exactly. But I will have in in 2 hours.
Okay.
Okay. Well, everyone, wish us luck.
Yeah. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in seconds. Welcome back, everyone. We've just seen Superman. It's just Superman, right?
Just Superman 2025.
What was it going to be called?
Superman Legacy.
That was what it was, right? I'm glad they dropped the Legacy. It didn't really make much sense.
And I think there was going to be a colon and a subtitle after Supergirl as well.
Oh, was there?
That got dropped.
I thought they were still doing Woman of Tomorrow.
I thought it got dropped.
I don't know. Who knows?
We could pin that.
Anyway, let's not bury the lead. Was it everything we expected it to be, and I'd hoped and dreamed it would be, Trevor?
I loved it.
I loved it too.
I really loved it.
I mean, big shock that we both loved the Superman movie that we were predisposed. We were predisposed to love. We were predisposed to love before we went in, but yes, I really loved it. Yeah, I thought it was great fun.
When James Gunn first announced that he picked himself to direct the Superman movie,
yeah.
I was a little hesitant because I didn't know if he could really get the tone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But he fucking nailed it. Like he absolutely nailed like the essence of like a certain type of Superman from the comic in this one. Like it,
yeah, yeah. Well, I also thought a bit of it was like, I'm just going to do James Gunn's Superman, and that'll work fine.
I think so. So do you think that this like do you think that this Superman is like totally different, like a James Gunn
Um,
version?
I thought he was quite different. Yeah, to be fair, like the characterization of Superman. Uh, I thought it was different from what I had expected, and from what I feel like I've seen before. Like, do you feel like it's more like what you've seen in the comics?
No, like well, I think it has like it was able to capture his like corniness and his wholesomeness
Yeah, yeah,
and sort of like turn that into a badge of honor and
yeah,
like
exactly.
because that's what the big insult about Superman is that like he's too corny, he's too lame, he's
Yeah,
too
yeah,
goody goody, and like that's like sort of a superpower in this movie.
yeah, yeah. I think what for me it was like I'm used to seeing that as like when he's been his Clark Kent. And like when he's Superman, he's usually very like stoically, I'm Superman, and I'm like the epitome of like a hero. And in this, he was very much more like an everyman, I thought.
So I guess in this one, like he is very emotional
Yeah.
and he's like he doesn't have the confidence
No,
quite
he's like
yet.
not so self-assured, right? That's what I mean. He's like he messes up a bit, and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I'm really trying.
But I don't know. I would say like he's playing like the exterior for what is usually on like the interior for Superman. Like
Fair,
I
fair.
think the
Yeah.
emotions we're seeing are not like foreign to what
No,
Superman
no,
feels
no,
all the time.
no. I think that's what it is. I think it's just more heart on the sleeve versus more
Yes.
internalized for sure. Yeah. Yeah, but no, I thought he did a great job. I mean, we can get into what we thought of that, but yeah, I just thought it wasn't what I was expecting, but like not in a bad way. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, like I found it quite surprising still.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
for sure. I mean, it's definitely you can see. Like, I don't think this would feel too weird to be part of the MCU. It definitely seemed like more of that vein of movie than typical DC movies we've had in the past. Like, which I mean, maybe that's just me being
what do you mean by that exactly?
just
Like
like just the structure of it and the lightness of it, and obviously the comedy is a big one and just stuff like that. But like, just like the characters seem like, and maybe I'm just like too used to. I'm thinking of like more of like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like you could see Guardians of the Galaxy showing up there and it not seeming like they were from different universes. I mean, that's a bit obvious. I mean, same director and or same writer or whatever, but
yeah, no, and I was I was surprised that like it was less complicated than I thought it was
right.
going to be. Like
Yeah,
I've
because
heard some
I was a little worried about that, to
I've
be
heard
honest.
some early chatter online about how like there's too many characters, there's too much stuff going
Mm.
on,
Yeah, well, that
which
was my
like
worry, like from the trailers and stuff. I was worried.
and then we kept hearing that this was similar to All Star Superman, which I would say
Right.
like it's not.
No, it's not
It's
at
not in
all.
any like
Like some of the characters maybe, but other than
the
that,
only
no.
similarity is that Jimmy Olsen is cool. Like
Yeah.
that is pretty
Well,
much
and
it.
like the people at the planet were like the people at the planet from All Star Superman. But
Yeah,
other
like
than that, no.
uh,
None of the plot beats, nothing.
yeah, I would agree with that.
Like having Cat Grant and Steve or whatever just hanging out on the planet, like yes, they're there and they look similar to their characters from the book. But other than that, no, it's different.
But no, I think that this is very streamlined.
Oh yeah, I thought it was
A
brilliant.
I think a casual moviegoer would not be confused by anything that they're
Nope.
seeing there. So if you're listening to this and you're not sure that this would be for you, like I think this is good for fans of Superman and just like casual
Yeah, that's the
moviegoers.
thing, right? Because I was like, how do you do this movie and it be for people that aren't just big time Superman fans? Because it seemed like it was you had to be predisposed to know a lot about Superman going in, but I think it did a really like he did an amazing job of having all that stuff in, but making it not like you say, not be complicated. And like honestly, if this was the first Superman movie you'd ever seen, you'd still get it. They still do explain stuff, but it's not like overdone. So it's like, oh, we've heard this all before, but it's done in new, sort of kind of new and interesting ways in some aspects without getting into too many details. But yeah, I thought he did a masterful job, to be honest. the way the story pans out, and
Yeah, like, well,
stuff just happen. Like it goes along at such a clip. Like stuff's just happening. It's like, but it's not that important. We're just going to move on. Like you got the gist of what we're trying to tell you for this scene. We're just going to carry on. Don't worry about what's going on in the background so much.
yeah, like this might be the most economical movie Gunn's made for sure. Like it honestly just does clip along, as you say.
Yep. It does have the James Gunn wanna action scene with the camera spinning around that he likes to do. I was like, oh yes, this is the scene. He's doing it. But it was a great scene, so complaining.
So, do you think that it was too overstuffed with humor? So
Maybe.
I personally like was fine with it. Like I guess that part did seem like it could be a little marvelly.
Yeah.
Is that like trying to ease the tension of the audience almost a bit too much? I didn't really mind it myself.
No, I thought it rode the line pretty good because it did slow down and stop a bit and do the more somber moments and the more heartfelt moments. So I think if you didn't have those, it would have felt too light and like just jokey. Because I think that's where you have to kind of get the balance right? I think that's where some people fall off. It's like it's not an all or nothing type thing. You don't have to be fully jokes and nothing else, or fully somber and nothing else. Like you can do both. And to be fair, like Man of Steel, like he tried with some light bits here and there. I mean, there were few and far between, but like it's a hard balance to get right. And I know I think like I wouldn't have hated pulling it back in a little bit. Maybe I think so. I think there was one or two moments where it did sort of undercut it a little bit. But I mean, not that. That's like if I'm really being critical. Like it worked. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. Like if you can be laughing while you're watching the movie, like there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I've always said that Guardians are my favorite Marvel movie. Like it's my favorite Marvel franchise.
It's crazy how that happened. Like I'm not a big fan as much as the second one, but I mean it had great stuff in it. I just think the second one got away from him a little bit.
The second one is pretty weak. I would
but
say.
I mean,
I love 1 and 3.
Yeah, it's weak out of the trilogy, but it's still a great movie.
It's still pretty. Yeah, still pretty good.
Yeah.
The B plot is not good.
No,
I would say.
No. Yeah, it lost its way a bit.
So I wanted to talk about the performances a little bit.
Yeah.
So David Corenswet. So I think I can articulate this better from what I was saying before.
Okay.
So I think, like I said, I think he's showing us the exterior for something that's very true to what Superman's always feeling.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I still think in this universe, for the most part, people are still just seeing that stoic exterior, right?
I guess you're right. Like
we're sort of seeing
he kind of saves that for the quiet moments, right? Behind all stuff.
Because like we're seeing everything through the veil, right?
Yeah,
like we're seeing it.
yes.
We're seeing
That's
him talk
a good point.
to Lois. We're seeing him talk to his robot friends. We're seeing him talk to Crypto and like his Justice Gang acquaintances or whatever. So we're kind of seeing him with his guard down for the whole movie.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, you make a good point.
In the other movies, we only got like little bits and glimpses of that. Whereas like this is the movie. Like this is like us like seeing Superman when he feels kind of himself for the most part.
That is a good point that you make because like when I think about all the shots in the movie where it was the view that other people had outside looking in, it was always the heroic Superman shots.
He was
there was plenty of those, man. There was
he was being very controlled, and like they mention social media and like whether or not he kind of thinks about how he's portrayed.
right.
And like he's definitely posing for cameras and stuff at the time, right?
Yeah.
Can almost think of like the other Superman movies we've seen as like from the perspective of just like a fan from the sidewalk or whatever, right? And this is the behind the scenes tour.
Yeah, it's like the documentary versus the biopic.
Yes. So I don't want to get into our rankings right now.
No, yeah.
But I think this is a phenomenal performance.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's much of a difference between his Superman and his Clark Kent. Like
that might be my one big complaint about the movie.
We did see a glimpse of his Clark Kent at the planet, but not a lot.
There was way more Clark Kent in the marketing for this movie,
Yeah.
marketing
So
for this movie than there was in the actual movie, which I was quite disappointed
there's
in.
probably one scene of Clark Kent
Yep.
with his guard up, right?
Yes, the one in the trailer.
And honestly, the one in the trailer, and I thought he was doing a great job in that
And I
scene.
wanted to see more of that.
There should have been more of it. Yeah.
The one thing I will say about this movie though, because I did think there wasn't enough Clark, there wasn't enough Daily Planet, there was nowhere near enough Wendell Pierce.
I was going to call that up too. Like I thought
I was really disappointed because I was really
like
looking forward to
his
seeing
casting as
it.
Perry was great, and I think
And he was great. The season he was in were
the
great.
2 minutes of screen time he got were really good. Like a bunch of stuff had to have got cut from the planet.
I was gonna say I feel like there's a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor, and it was a lot of that stuff, which is sad because I'm sure it was all great stuff. But I mean, if you got to jettison something from that movie, it was so it went as such. There was no fat on that movie at all.
Yeah, I think like Jimmy probably came out the best in that cut.
Yes,
Jimmy
the pimp.
I love
he did a great job.
I love this interpretation of the character,
right?
Because you got to modernize things a little bit here.
Right? He was always such a sad sack in the movies, but
one thing I had heard is that Lois was sidelined for this movie, and I didn't feel that way at all.
No, I didn't feel that way
I thought
either.
she was very active.
She was very front and center for a lot of it.
Rachel Brosnahan, I think, is amazing.
I thought
as Lois Lane.
She did a great Lois Lane.
And that was like I think we all know going in that she was going to hit it out of the park because that was just perfect casting.
It really was. And she did such a great job of like showing her vulnerability even in some scenes, and then like how she hides that behind like her tough exterior. It was all I thought maybe one of the best Lois Lanes I've seen.
Yeah, recency bias can be the hell of a thing. So I don't want to
commit anything. We're on a bit of a gid, but yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing I wanted to say. If people were on the fence about going to see this in theaters, like the entire theater was vibing with this movie, man. Like there was an electric energy.
We should talk about that because I cannot tell you the last time I've seen that kind of reaction at a movie theater. It's like literally one of those times where people applauded at the end.
Yeah, and everyone
was just chatting and so excited when the movie finished. And when the movie started, before the movie, it was just like it was packed theater in IMAX. Everyone was buzzing the whole way through, and then at the end, you could tell everyone was so happy. And I can't remember that happening. I feel like the last time that happened was like Endgame for me.
That's a good. Yeah, I'm trying to think of an example.
Like, not to pull out like the obvious, like comic book, like movie that you can compare it to, but that's like literally the last time I've seen a theater react like that for a movie was probably for Endgame.
It would have to be some kind of like well executed crowd pleaser like that, but that's what this movie is. It's a incredibly well executed crowd pleaser.
It's weird though. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting it to be a big crowd pleaser. It's like it's a Superman movie.
Well, I certainly thought it was going to be a little more heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Just based off of the recent like headlines coming out.
Right.
And like Dean
You mean with the political stuff?
Yeah, and like Dean Cain coming out and saying that it's too woke and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how anyone could watch this and say like, oh man, like this is just hammering us. Like, and obviously like,
I think that to be fair, I think James Gunn's been playing that up a little bit in the run up to the movie.
I think he has too, and like
coming out saying he's an immigrant and stuff, which they never even say in the movie at any point.
Like this movie is very political. Like I'm not saying that it's not political, but
it's very thinly veiled political commentary.
I also don't think it's very heavy-handed.
No, I don't think so at all. Actually, I mean, you could probably, if you wanted to think it, like I feel like a lot of people would hate this movie, like. Not to like harp on the Snyder Bros, sorry guys, but I can imagine that if you're a diehard Snyder Superman fan, you would legitimately probably hate this movie because it's the antithesis of that movie, really.
Well, and like this Superman really shows like his vulnerabilities and like he's not indestructible. Like he can't move a planet.
Yeah.
He can sort of like he can catch a building and lower it softly.
Yes.
Which is better, I think, for this sort of thing.
Yeah. What did you think of crypto? Too much crypto? You okay with the amount of crypto? Because I was a bit worried about having too much crypto in this movie going in.
I was worried about it too. I think that in the final act, they found a really great way to use him.
Yes, they did.
And like you sort of forgot about him as a tool to be utilized or whatever, right? And I don't know. Like I think like obviously, like, if you're not into the idea of Superman having a dog, it's going to bother you.
Well, I kind of like the decision they made about their relationship, though, without spoiling anything.
It's love-hate.
Yeah, the relationship between Krypto and Superman, and like, because it could have just been like, he's my sidekick and we do everything together, and they didn't really go that route, so I kind of appreciated that. But yeah, I did feel like, I don't want to say I felt like there was too much Krypto. I didn't think there was, but I mean, I wouldn't have been upset if there was a little less Krypto.
Yeah, I don't think that they overused him too much, though.
No, that's what I mean. I'm really trying to find negative things, just trying to balance it out a little bit. But no, but he's such a cute dog, man. How can you not like having Krypto show up?
The one thing I will commit to on Mike is Nicholas Hoult,
Yes.
I think, is definitively the best Lex Luthor we've had.
I'm glad you said that, because I wanted to say that as well. And I was like, I hope Trevor agrees with me.
No, like, I think
that was like pitch perfect comic book Lex Luthor. He even looks just like him.
it was perfect comic book Lex Luthor, and it's a perfect modern interpretation of the character too.
Exactly. Yes.
It honestly feels like they made this movie last week.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, but no, I agree. I thought he was. I mean, no shade on any previous Lex Luthors.
Yeah, I know you love Kevin Spacey.
I thought Kevin Spacey was a great Luthor.
I think he's. I really liked him. I didn't like him on this rewatched.
No.
And then, like, Gene Hackman is just kind of having fun.
Yeah, like that
doing
was
his
a
own
great
thing.
character, and he did it really well.
But it's not really
but
Lex
it's not
Luthor.
really Lex Luthor.
Yeah, but he's just having so much fun,
and he's such a great character.
He's such a big personality. Like, and for a lot of people, right, that is Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
because like a lot of people just watch the movies, right? And
Yep.
The 3 movies that he was in was their only exposure to Lex Luthor. So probably you're watching this and you're saying like, hey, why isn't Lex, like, laughing and palling around with Otis more?
Yeah, why isn't he like being funny? Yeah, I like, and that's what I mean. Like, I like the fact that this can exist, and other versions can exist, and like people can just give their own take. I think we talked about this last week. It's like, do your own take on Superman. Like, why not? Like, there'll be another one in 10, 15 years. Don't worry about it.
That's why, like, and I can understand being disappointed if
and
I'm talking
what you want.
And like and that's the thing with a lot of the stuff you're seeing with the Snyder Bros online, which I'm convinced a lot of them are bots or monkeys at typewriters.
Nice call.
And like you're like, well, like the Superman I grew up with is tough, gritty, snaps necks, and doesn't worry about it. Would never like really want to cry and talk about his feelings like this or whatever.
Right.
And like, you know what? If you don't. And like, if that's what you love and that's what you think Superman is, you probably won't like this. But
exactly.
You still have the movies that you like. You can still always go back and watch those.
I mean, I understand why they're upset. It's because there was the big tease of, well, you know what? Henry Cavill's coming back. We're going to do more Superman movies. And then they were like, rug pull. No, we're not. So I understand why that would be upsetting, because you're expecting more. They promised more and then they took it away. And now you have to have this. That's not what you wanted.
Well, they wanted to see Black Adam too, and they wanted to see those guys fight.
Black Adam and Superman going at it. I wouldn't have mind seeing that. I'm going to be honest. But
I'm fine.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm fine too. I mean, I'll take any Superman, to be fair.
Like I would have liked a second Justice League out of that.
I would have loved that.
Wouldn't have minded that. But
more Jared Leto Joker, right? That's what you wanted to see.
No, that's okay. Any of the other cast we want to call out?
Who are we forgetting?
I guess Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk. You got to get Alan Tudyk in your movie if you can. He's in everything.
Well, like, he just shows up in the studio, bangs out a voice,
just do a voice
in a day, and then he's off.
I still need to watch Resident Alien. Have you seen that?
No.
I keep hearing how great it is, but I haven't watched it.
I just watched Strange World for the first time, and he's in that.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's a good movie, actually.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's my first time seeing it. I liked it a lot.
Pretty good twist ending.
I understand completely why it made $0.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who it was for, really, to be honest. But
I think it was for me.
Yeah, my kids liked it, though, and I really
my kids liked it, too. The little one had a tough time.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're not here to talk about this.
We'll do a Strange World episode at one point.
Everybody, if you're listening to this Our letterbox contest is closing
Oh yeah, this is important,
on
guys.
Monday the
Let's put up.
14th. So if you're listening to this on the day this episode comes out, you have until 11:59 p.m.
Yeah, sorry for the late
to
notice.
enter the contest.
It's a simple contest, guys. You don't have to do much.
Yeah, there'll be a link here if you want a year's free subscription to Letterboxd Patron. This is like us.
That's legit.
It's like us sending you $50.
That's legit, guys.
And if you already have Patreon,
No
like
strings attached.
yeah, no string. Well, there's some strings.
Well, there's prerequisites.
Yeah, there's yeah.
I can't
Exactly.
say the word, but there's some of them.
Oh, I wasn't gonna call you on that.
It's a prerequisite.
I thought that was just like a Northern English accent.
That's what I'm going with. That's how we say it.
It's like schedule.
It's a bottle of water with a prerequisite.
Honestly, this is a ringing endorsement for the movie because we're just humming.
I know, right?
now.
We're just like on cloud nine here.
Anyways, follow us.
We're getting back to it.
Subscribe to the podcast. Rate us 5 stars. Say you like our energy.
Yeah.
Let's go into spoilers.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about the nitty-gritty stuff here.
Okay.
I guess we didn't talk about Mom and Ken. I guess it's a spoiler to say that Ken's alive in this movie.
Well, I think we saw him a bit in the trailer.
Yeah,
but
that scene where he puts his head on.
That could have been in the past, but
could have been a flashback.
I'm actually really glad you brought that up because I was going to ask a question about like all of the Superman movies we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Have any of them done justice to the Kents?
To the Kents. Has any movie done justice to the Kents? That's a good question.
I would argue the original Superman is the closest.
Yeah.
Like you have that very impactful death of Jonathan Kent.
True. Yep.
You see like the values they've instilled in him and how those carry out. But the other movies, like, and for the most part, once he gets to Metropolis, they say like, now these people are a bit of an inconvenience now. Clark sends some money off to his mother or whatever, and then she sort of dies off screen or whatever.
She's there to be in peril if they need it to be in peril.
She's there to have the name Martha.
Why did you say that name?
She's in 3, like Diane Lane, who is a great actor, is in 3 of those movies, and like what purpose does she serve? Like she's to be a sad sack that like, oh, I lost the farm. Like her most impactful scene, she was Martian Manhunter for some reason.
Well, yeah, retcon she was, yeah, I guess.
But like, yeah, have any of them done justice up to this point? Oh, and I forgot the very first Superman movie.
Yeah.
Starring Karl-El.
Oh, okay, we're going back that far.
They kill off,
and then they died.
they kill off his parents in a narration.
Yeah.
They say shortly after this, Clark's foster parents.
I mean, I guess that's
away.
like at least they're putting it on Front Street. It's like we know you don't care about the Kents anymore, so we're just gonna say they're dead, and we're not even gonna show you a funeral.
And that's like I'm a Smallville fan, right? I mentioned it here before, and that was such a good part of that show.
Yes.
In showing how the Kent's morals just influence Clark's life. And I think this movie did the Kents justice finally.
I think it did.
They're a bit too Southern, though.
They were very Southern. And I think they were
like, is Kansas that Southern?
Yeah, they kind of played them off to be kind of like ignorant, I thought.
I think a little bit, like especially at first.
I mean, they were going for like, oh, they're just old and Southern, so they don't understand how phones work very well.
I honestly thought like, isn't Kansas more Midwestern than Southern? Like it seemed like they were just like from Mississippi or something.
I was a bit like, there was a certain point like where he was talking to his dad where I was like, is this like a robot or something? Like
with his eyes?
Yeah, with his eyes, and I think he was supposed to be like sick, maybe. But
yeah, I think maybe that's just a condition that the actor has or something.
But the way they were she was talking, like he was always kind of off to the side, and she was like, "Oh, he's a softie" or whatever, and I was like, "Is he just? Are they going to say like he's not a real person?" I felt like I was getting a weird vibe from that a little bit.
But honestly, like that line that Jonathan says to Clark, and that like
that one scene,
the message from your parents, what you thought about that message says more about you than what your parents were actually trying to tell you in that message, right? Like, so that reflects who you really are, what you chose to believe. And what you choose to believe is that you are a good person who wants to do good in the world.
You know what I did, not to go too far off topic here, but I remember quite enjoying the Kents in the Dean Cain Superman.
Okay.
Because Jonathan was still alive in that one too. And they
Okay.
just show up and be super friendly and just be like a great. I remember thinking they're a great set of parents.
Okay. Well, I'll have to check that out.
Do it.
No, yeah, Smallville's all just like really hokey
Yeah.
speeches to Clark
Oh, yeah.
about like
But that's good stuff.
standing up for the little guy, doing the right thing
Yeah,
or whatever. So
exactly. Well, that's what Jonathan Kent's supposed to be.
yeah, exactly. What did you think about the revelation
Yeah,
that
I was gonna ask you
he's
that.
kind of sent there to be
Because I think
a king?
that's the biggest sort of deviation I think that this movie makes in terms of Superman lore. Like they fully showed Jor-El and Lara to just be like, like fuck these people, go rule over them.
Yeah, who wouldn't really think much of humanity,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it doesn't really matter. Whereas like the Marlon Brando version is like, they have potential, right? So
yeah.
you have to help them guide it to them where
I was surprised. I mean, I know why they did it for the narratively. I know why they did it, but I was surprised that they went like so like
I was
they really doubled down on like no, this is really the message because they could have easily done how he doctored the message, and that's not really what they said. And it was legit like go and rule over them and kill any of them that disagree with you. I was like,
yeah.
whoa, that is like
So
you're talking to a baby here, guys.
I'm sure I'm sure people will feel differently
like
about that.
I could see that really upsetting Superman fans, and I couldn't really argue with them being upset if
Yeah.
you
But I
because it is very much like they make his Kryptonian parents out to be like basically Viltrumites
yeah.
from Invincible.
And like I recently just read For the Man Who Has Everything.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I
Um
read that this week too.
which is, you know, Clark's or Superman's birthday, and he has a parasite that makes him
Yeah,
imagine what Krypton is like.
yeah, Mongol sends him a present.
And it shows like
It's Mongol, right? I got that wrong.
yeah, it shows Kryptonian society is like not what we thought it was, right? And
Yeah, well, it's like what would have happened if
yeah, if it
Krypton
didn't actually explode, it's like a
and then,
society that's
yeah,
tearing itself
and Kal-El
apart.
grew up and that, like, yeah, Jor-El's just a bitter old
Yeah.
twisted man, and
One, and even in the Snyder version, we see in like Michael Shannon, like large factions of Kryptonian society just like believe in genetic purity or whatever, right? So I think we've seen shades of this before, not really from Jor-El,
no,
though.
yeah,
Like honestly, Jor-El is a dick in that comic I just mentioned, and I'm sure there's got to be some example of like Clark was sent as like a pseudo conqueror.
true.
So I don't know if it's completely original idea, but that being said, I didn't dislike it. Like it felt a little bitter when I saw it, and then
Yeah.
like they kept hammering home, like, no, this is not a trick. This is the actual thing.
Yeah. But I really loved the bookend of like he likes to listen to his parents' message, and it makes
Yeah.
him feel good. And then at the end, it's the Kents. I thought that was really so well done.
Well, and it's such an interesting part of this Superman's character is that he's not really Superman and Clark Kent, right? He's Clark
Yeah.
Kent, and he's trying to think about like what is it like to be a Kryptonian because he has
Right.
no idea.
True.
Like there's no so like he's just trying to live up to an ideal that he's sort of just making up in his head.
True. Very true. Yeah.
And so like there's not really like a Superman side and a Clark Kent side. Like it's all just the same guy, which is very interesting take for the character.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then so he's just trying to find like, who am I and what do I actually believe in? Like what's my foundation?
Yeah.
And like he thinks his foundation is something, but that foundation's basically a lie.
Yeah.
And then he realizes, oh, I've actually had this more solid foundation this whole time. I didn't really quite realize it.
Right. Yeah. No, I thought it was. I agree with that. It was really good the way they did that. Trying to think of any other things that we could talk about. What I will say is the most telegraphed like reveal, I think in history, is that Ultraman was a Superman clone.
Yeah.
Like I don't think anyone's shocked when that reveal happens. It's like they basically just say he's a Superman clone.
Well, he was doing laser eyes like well
He's got
before
all
that.
of Superman's
though.
powers. He can get into Superman's fortress because it scans him and thinks he's Superman. It's like you may as well have just showed he was Superman from the start. But I did like the long hair means he's evil.
Yeah, he's just like a big dumb brute or whatever.
Yeah.
And Superman
I feel like
Superman did kill him. So
Yeah, I feel like I might have liked if they'd done a bit more Bizarro on that. like make him a bit more
Right.
he's like talking backwards and being a bit messed up because it just literally seemed like he was an identical clone.
I feel like there's a possibility they might have filmed some stuff
Yeah.
like that, but then they decided like it's a bit too much.
Too corny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like
Bizarro number 1 around his neck, that would have been amazing.
and then it might just look a little mean that like Clark kills him.
That's true. Yeah, I thought that. I was like, just because he's a clone doesn't mean like he's obviously been manipulated. I feel like he should not try to just murder him.
Well, and this Superman he's like flying like with those raptors who were coming and swarming him. Like
he annihilates them.
he was like some of them had to have died.
Yeah, when he does that spin laser eye move, that was so cool. But I was a bit like, wow, he's pissed and he's literally trying to murder these people. Because they're just regular people, right? In battle suits. Like, come on, man. They're not robots.
But I think that's also kind of fitting with the themes of the movie, which are very much like about how you're perceived online.
Yeah, very true.
And he's kind of like playing a naive and altruistic, like straightforward version.
Yep.
And like Lex is manipulating social media and all these global events and stuff like that. Like, and
he's the master manipulator.
Basically playing dirty. And like, this was a version of Superman with that saying like, I can't win if I'm going to be completely like altruistic the whole time. Like he has to like, fucking like shoot a bunch of people with just fucking laser eyes.
Right. The scene, the one scene you were alluding to with Crypto just going after Lex at the end, which was amazing. But I did get pretty strong Hulk and Loki vibes in Avengers on that one.
I was actually like, I was referring to where he called Crypto to like destroy those cameras.
Oh right, which that was pretty cool.
Like I think that was like more because.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that was a good way to have it. Like
good way to utilize him, like
control him,
and
anymore.
Like use him as a dog to help with that fight.
Chasing the toys.
But yeah, that was 100% Loki and Hulk in like Avengers Tower.
Bad guy mid run just gets creamed by the indestructible brute.
It was very satisfying.
It really was. Just like he's just talking so much shit, and he just comes in because Superman couldn't just wail on him like that. Wouldn't have been cool. He doesn't do that. But like a dog can just go and just start ripping into him. That was amazing. It looked so painful. It was like, oh.
I thought, when like Superman's battling that kaiju, and then the one dog won't go away, so he has to use his breath to like push him away.
Yeah, that was pretty hard.
I thought someone was gonna like put that online and say like, oh look at Superman being a jerk to dogs. Like he just.
I think I read somewhere that they actually pulled a scene of Crypto getting hurt because it was too much.
Yeah.
I think I read that. Although he gets pretty hurt in this.
He gets pretty hurt.
So I don't know what they cut out. It must have been brutal. So I know we're not got much time left, so I wanted to get into the Justice Squad.
Justice Gang.
Justice Gang. I forgot what they were called. But what do you think of the Justice Gang? Because that was another thing I was worried about. Like, how are you going to give all these guys stuff to do and make it worthwhile? But
and they made a smart choice by just having 3 and then later 4 people. And I think like obviously Mr. Terrific is the standout.
Yeah. And
or like the surprise standout.
I thought that was perfect. It's like, how do we make the character who just inherently looks stupid, has a stupid name, has a stupid costume, his power is floating balls, like he's and like, you know what, we're gonna put him front and center and make him a complete badass. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like that scene I was talking about with the one like with the swirling camera where he just takes out that entire base. It was so awesome.
I thought Lois was gonna kiss him at the end of that.
Like I would have. The guy was cool as fuck.
Yeah, that was awesome. I didn't understand why like no one from Lex's army like came to that spot after that.
Yeah, they were kind of just like, oh, so we'll just leave him to it. But I feel like maybe Hawk Girl got a bit short shrift.
She definitely did.
She didn't get much to do.
I think she looked great in that character. Like the screen time she did have was worthwhile, but obviously there's some stuff that got cut there.
Yeah, she didn't really have much to do. Or
like she had a really cool scream. In there,
like looked pretty cool. But like Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner was hilarious.
Well, yeah, and like he was incredible. Like,
I love how we took out a bunch of tanks by just having giant middle fingers come smash them up.
The one I really liked is when during that kaiju fight when he has like the thing that's opening the creature's eye and like stabbing it with a needle. It was hard to watch.
Superman goes, really? This is what we're doing? Like this is the best thing we can think of. Yeah, some of his lines are great. It's like, I made over mitts.
It's like, what am I supposed to do? I made up advance.
But that haircut is brutal. It's like not even cut well. It's like looks like someone did it with some class.
That haircut should be against the vow.
Oh, there's so many great lines in this movie. It was awesome.
Oh, and in that same scene where Lois says that, they mentioned the hypno glasses thing.
Is that referencing something?
That's so from some of the comics, like Clark's wearing glasses with has Kryptonian technology, and it makes his face look different to other people. So it's not just the glasses.
I never heard that before. I thought that was just a joke they were doing.
They sort of slipped that in there that like
funny.
In the modern day and age, like that's why people aren't noticing, because it is actually the glasses is making you see a different face, basically.
Yeah, but they weren't implying that was actually the case, though, right? I thought that was they were just saying that was his weird theory, and because he's an idiot.
I thought he was saying that like that was a secret he knows about Superman.
I thought he was just saying that's what he thinks he does, and everyone else was like, no, you're an idiot for thinking that.
Okay, well,
because they didn't really show that was a thing.
But after that, doesn't Lois say, you're telling me a lot of information for someone who doesn't...
Was that the same scene, though?
It was the same scene. Like, and she's like, how do you actually know I know all this? He's like, so do you know he's Clark Kent?
That was so funny. She's
like, why does he trust everybody?
Yeah. He was so great in that.
And I kind of think like that's sort of the secret sauce of this movie is like how Lois views Clark. I think is just like she sees like the true version of Superman from the comics.
Right.
And like she has such a high opinion of him, but like it's almost hard to be in a relationship with that person.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe that's one thing we can touch on too. Like what did you think about their dynamic together?
Oh, I thought it was amazing. I thought it did such a great job. I thought they were great together. I thought like that's what I was saying. Like the scene, like that scene that I know that they put it in the trailer and stuff like that, which maybe they shouldn't have, but with just them, like when she's interviewing him and it's just them in the apartment,
yeah,
or even when it's just like her giving him the cocoa and this big fucking battle in the background. I love that they put that in like like promotional shots. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a big battle with this like big star, and it's just
beautiful.
Like,
yeah,
and they just totally ignore it. It's just a massive battle.
He's like, no,
and Guy Gardner's making big green baseball bats and just
like slicing them. Yeah,
it's so funny.
But no, their fight, like, well, that whole interview,
so believable
to the fight, like, it's just so like because they like clearly care for each other, but they are just like see the world fundamentally different from one another.
Yeah. Well, just her being like, I knew this wouldn't work. It's just like. And his reaction.
There's like 10 different meanings to that line.
It's so well done.
Like, so Gunn really knows how to write dialogue. Like
he really does. Yeah.
I thought that they were like, this is great. Like, I don't think that it's quite at the level of Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder, but
yeah, no, I mean like that was electric.
This is room to grow. Obviously, though they'll do more.
The one thing I'll say about this movie is that it really made me want to see more movies of Superman with this cast.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff I was like, oh, I wish I'd seen more like Daily Planet. I wish I could see more of them or more of this. It's like, yeah, like give me 3 more movies and just do more stuff. I would happily watch them.
Like, give me a TV show that just stars Jimmy Olsen going on like investigative reporting, and he's just like
beating women off with sticks every day.
Man, that guy is.
I love how he just seems like he doesn't understand why. Just like women just want to be with him.
That's his superpower,
I guess. Lois Lane's like, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know.
So he's just like so embarrassed by
all the girls at the planet, just like smiling, waving.
Like you can't ask me where I got this source because it's too embarrassing. It's just like a beautiful woman wants to be with him.
I did kind of like that twist where it's like she'd always been secretly gathering evidence against Lex.
Yeah. No, I was
pretty smart.
Thinking of that during the first fight, like of the hammer of Brovia. That like, why is he letting her just like take selfies? Like, where is she sending these selfies to? Because this is compromising.
Like, she's not posting that stuff, is she?
But yeah, like she's smart enough to like be sneaky about collecting it or whatever, right? But not smart enough to realize that Jimmy Olsen finds her completely repulsive.
Well, maybe she
It's
just
like
doesn't.
the whole weekend.
I'm just like, I'll give you all the information you want. I just need you to agree to like hang out with me this weekend. And he's just like, he can't do it. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like, come on, man, just tell her what she needs to hear.
I was gonna say I think this movie has like a lot in common with Superman 4, Quest for Peace, because
interesting.
it gets into like
Yeah.
the idea of like, does Superman have an obligation to get involved in
Right.
the political affairs of the planet?
Should he?
And like, what are the consequences of those?
Yeah, I love the way
decisions?
she like throws that at him, where she's like playing devil's advocate. It's like, well,
Yeah.
He's like, well, they would have killed all those people. It's like, you don't know that. They said they were liberating him.
Yeah,
It's like, it's not up to you to decide who's lying and who's not.
there's quite a lot of parables to real life going.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Some of it's very thinly veiled, but it's fine. Well, it's really raining, and I don't know if you guys can hear that, but
Well,
we got a downpour here.
the sky is crying that we're done with our Project
We'll have to wrap
Superman.
this up. We could probably talk about it for another half hour. I feel like we're not forgetting anything important, are we? No, I don't think so. Right? I think we touched on everything.
I think so. Like little bits in here and there. Like I think that this movie handled like the world turning against a superhero maybe better than any movie I can think of.
Yeah,
Like,
and I love how it was so immediate.
yeah,
Like as soon as the TV and the social medias and the news are saying this guy's a bad guy, like they immediately turn around and just like go at him, and he's like, "I just saved everybody," and they're like throwing shit at him.
it was honestly like because that's why I think like this movie could have been written yesterday. But
Right.
obviously, like this is an era that we've been living in a long time. And, like
fair.
that, like you can just be turned on in a second and online.
Exactly.
But no, honestly, like this makes me very optimistic for the rest of the DCU going forward.
Yeah, me too.
Are they calling it DCU?
I think so. I think it's the DC universe.
There you go. Easy.
Yeah, to make it nice and clean.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I was already here for it after I watched Creature Commandos.
Honestly, like as like a proper launch, I couldn't imagine like a better like send up than this.
Oh, we didn't talk about any of the cameos. We didn't talk about Peacemaker.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Supergirl.
Yeah. And not really much more. Sean Gunn was in a little bit.
Maxwell Lord, he was playing, which I thought was pretty cool. I hope that's
a way
come back in the future.
That's a way to cast him so that he can be in almost every movie, basically. So like they could just keep him on the shelf for 10 years.
Like we'll just bring you in every now and again. No, and I was not expecting to see Supergirl show up in this. Like, I was quite shocked when that happened.
I did see a spoiler accidentally about this, but I didn't say it.
No, you didn't. Good job, because I was totally not expecting that, and I was like, oh shit, she's actually in it.
Honestly, the fact that they already have a relationship means like she probably should have like told him about Kryptonian society a little bit.
Well, that's what I mean. It'd be interesting to know, like, what does she even know about it?
Well, like, so you said this version of Supergirl is different. Like, did she not grow up on Krypton?
I have no idea. That's what I was saying. Like, I just heard that it's a very different take on like the typical super person character, but I haven't read that comic, so I have no idea what that means.
Well, she's sort of a party girl.
Apparently, right? That's hilarious. Like, go to
red planets to get drunk.
I'd be interested to know how she gets back from the red planet if she's got no powers.
It's a good point.
Well, I guess that's for a different time. Yeah, and I love the fact that it was like, oh, Krypto is her dog, because that's like, then it's like, oh,
he said like the Fosters thing.
Then it's like, okay, well, if there's another Superman movie, maybe there's not so much Krypto. We've done our Krypto now. Maybe he can show up once in a while.
Yeah,
we've got a perfectly good reason to say why that's the case.
All right, we're going to take a quick aside and welcome some friends of the podcast who have been sitting very quietly in the back seat. I want to welcome Wil and Katelyn from Marvelous Marathon. Welcome, guys.
Hello, clever girls. I just wanted to say that as a reference to your Jurassic World episode to prove that I am a fan of your show, and I wanted to make Pete really uncomfortable.
There you go. Appreciate that. I like being uncomfortable. No, it's nice to have you guys on. Welcome. It's I think it's the first time we've had another podcast on the episode.
Yeah, like we've had guests before. This is the first podcast.
Collab, as the kids say.
Yeah, universes syncing together. It's DC meets Marvel right now.
I guess so.
Right, this is huge.
Not that we're a DC pod, but it seems like we have.
Well,
for the last 7 weeks.
We've covered a lot of DC stuff now, I guess, but we've also covered a lot of Marvel stuff too.
You're certainly more of a DC podcast than we are.
Fair.
Yeah. I mean, for the past few months, you've definitely sort of been a DC podcast with your whole,
Yeah, this whole Superman thing
series.
has been a lot.
We've covered every Marvel movie since the Marvels.
Yeah.
Right, that was our second
There's not that
episode.
been-
We've
Not
covered.
been that many though, right?
Well, we started basically at like the lowest point in Marvel history, or
Yeah.
MCU history, anyways.
Right.
Did you guys maybe want to just talk about your podcast and
Yeah, give us a rundown of what you guys do.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a little breakdown of what we do. So, like I said, we are Marvelous Marathon. We are first and foremost a Marvel movie podcast that we just started earlier this year. And the premise of our show is that we're just watching every Marvel movie ever, quote, sort of in order. So we're starting with all the pre-MCU stuff from like the 90s and the 2000s. But obviously, me and Caitlin keep getting sidetracked by either the new Marvel movies or DC movies like Superman, or just like other blockbuster movies that we want to cover, or literally just random stuff
Or
that
just
we
kind
want
of
to cover
whatever
that we're
I
in the mood
want.
to watch. Yeah, Caitlin sometimes takes over, and it's there's nothing I can do to stop it. But yeah, if you guys want to come over to our show and watch all the Marvel movies along with us, expect that to be about a 10-year process because we are handling it very slowly.
Yeah, there's,
So yeah,
there's
that's
a
what we
fair
do.
few of them too to get through for sure.
Yeah.
and yeah, there's like a lot of divergence, right? Because the rights aren't all held by
Oh yeah,
the
that's
same
very
company.
true. That's very true.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm all here for that though. I love that extended universe stuff on the Marvel side. I could probably easily go through and watch them all over the next 10 years.
Well, Pete, like, and if you've got the impression that we're like a DC podcast exclusively, like Pete is the biggest Marvel fan ever.
Yeah, I'd say more than you at least, but
Well, like I'm like a pretty big fan, but like we did like our top 10 movies of the year last year, and Pete had Deadpool and Wolverine at his number 2 movie of the year. And I'm like, oh, okay, like I like that movie, but like we're on a whole other level here.
yeah, I was on a big high after that movie.
It is one of those movies, and here's what I'll say about Marvel movies, and we talk a lot about this, about Marvel movies, and even about Superman, is like sometimes when you get out of the theater, you're on such a high from like the characters that you see and like the emotional feeling that you get from it, that I feel like you leave the theater and you're like, that was the best movie ever. And then if you start to do what we do, which is like dissect it for 3 hours, you start to think that you actually hate all these movies.
Yeah, that's the
but
problem,
it's a
right?
cross we're willing to bear.
Yeah, you start really digging into like the real nitty gritty, and it feels like it's just like you hate the movie because you just talk about all the bad points, but it's really just like we've been doing it about Superman. It's like it's just these are the very like nits to pick. It's not a big deal.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, fair
We've been
enough.
talking negatively about this movie for an hour, but 4 to 5 stars.
Yeah, that's the
Really?
thing how it goes.
Awesome.
All right, should we get into Superman then? I'm really interested to hear your guys' opinion, because from what I've listened to your pod, like you don't seem to be the biggest Superman fans, and I know that Trevor and I, especially with this thing we've been doing on the pod, going through every single Superman movie, we've just been so involved in Superman. I feel like
We've drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like going into this, we were just predisposed to love like whatever they put on screen, and we like spoiler, we both loved it. So I'm really interested to see perspective of someone of people that like maybe don't have these characters ingrained into their psyche as much as maybe me and Trevor do, or aren't like up on Superman in general. Or so I'm really interested, because I feel like this is getting a little bit divisive, this movie. So I don't know if I'm crazy or not.
No, I don't think you're crazy. Do you guys want to hear the I hate it take first, or I'm okay
Let's just
with
get
it
right
take
in. Rip
first?
the Band-Aid off, guys.
Go ahead, Caitlin. Yeah.
Yeah, let Caitlin go first.
Yeah, let me pop off real quick. No, I think it really is. You basically, I think, got exactly why we have such a difference in opinions here, which is that you guys were already familiar with a lot of this material going into it. And we kind of talked about this on our episode too. I think that this was a really interesting first entry into this new DC universe. I think it just doesn't really function very well as someone's first exposure to these guys. And like, again, I said this on our episode, like it's kind of a blunt way of putting it, but these are not my guys. I'm typically not, I don't know a lot about the DC characters. I'm very much a Marvel girl. So there was a lot to me about this movie that was unfortunately confusing, and it just felt like a lot was being thrown at me that I had no precursor for. So I totally understand why it would work for people who are familiar with these characters already. But for me, I unfortunately did not like it.
Well, it's an interesting comment you make there, because it does kind of just really throw you right in there. It's like, like, what do they call it? It's like media res, when it's just like you start in the middle of a scene.
Yeah, in media res.
Yeah. It's just like, it's literally just throws you in. He's already been Superman. He's already had a battle. Like, it doesn't do any of the preamble. It's just like, here we go. These are all the people. He's got robots now, and all this kind of stuff's going on. And you're like,
and I'm
okay,
like, wait, I don't know any of these guys. Slow down.
Yeah, so like, for me, I was like, I kind of knew a bit about all those characters anyway, but I had assumed they'd done a pretty good job of being like, don't worry about it. This is just who it is. But it's interesting to hear a point of view of someone who's like, no, I actually didn't know these people, and I kind of was confused by that.
Yeah.
Well, it was Stan Lee, right, who said like every comic is someone's first comic,
you should
right?
treat every comic like someone's first comic.
Honestly, it's a critique I have of the later Marvel movies, is that like they like Marvel has like such a confidence, right? Because they ran the movie world for a long time. That's it's sort of like a bit on the decline right now. But you jump into their movies, and like there's so much homework you have to do, and like they do as good of a job as they can do, but like if you haven't seen all the properties, like you're not going to get everything. And so like I was just thinking about like how Warner Brothers right now and DC Studios are trying to steal Marvel fans, right? And bring them over on the DC bandwagon. It sounds like that didn't happen for either of you guys.
Well, in terms of Marvel, I think I said this on me and Caitlin's first episode of our show, is that like to prepare for the upcoming like Secret Wars Avengers films, it seems like Kevin Feige expects people to start a podcast and watch every Marvel movie ever, and it's like the only way that you it's like the only way you could be prepared for those movies. So that's why I was so excited to watch this new Superman, is because I'm excited for it to just be a clean slate, fresh start. I don't have to know anything. I can just get introduced to all these new characters and this new world and just kind of let it wash over me. And to some extent, I think it did do that a little bit. I've talked a lot with Caitlin about how like I really like the way this world like looks and feels. It's like a little bit new, a little bit old. It doesn't really exist in any place in time, and it feels like this like bizarro DC universe, whereas I think Marvel tries really hard to make it just feel like our own world, where I don't think this movie was trying to feel like our own world. I think it was actually pointedly trying to feel like some strange place that could never exist, even though it is just like the United States metropolis, a big city. So I do give it points for that. And I also talked about on our podcast how I love the way it was filmed. Like I just think it's like this weird like fisheye lens that they were using, and everyone's face was like front and center, and I just like the way this movie visually looked. And I also love David Corenswet's portrayal of Superman. I think he's a great Superman, and I'm excited to see more of him in the future. So I'm overall pretty neutral to good on this movie, but I do have a lot of problems similar to Caitlin, and we talked a lot about this, maybe for too long, on our episode, just about how it's I don't know, it's like a valiant effort to do something fresh and new, and they allowed James Gunn to put his James Gunniness into this film. But my worry, and maybe I'll be proven wrong, is that James Gunn doing his James Gunniness doesn't work as like this 4-quadrant audience experience where everyone knows who Superman is, even if they don't read comics or they're not familiar with other movies. So you're bringing little kids and you're bringing grandma and grandpa to the theater, because the way this movie is marketed is it's marketed like this big summer epic. It's not really marketed as this funny James Gunn movie. And then you get to the theater and it feels like you're watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4. And sometimes the jokes land. And I mean, we even talked about it on our podcast. Like, some of the jokes are very funny, but overall the tone of this movie just confused me a little bit. And I wish that, like, with a movie called Superman, I wish it took itself slightly more seriously. Because to me, even though world-ending things are happening in this movie, I feel like there was like less weight to the story than the like original 1978 film.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with any of that. I don't think.
Yeah.
I guess it's like it's one of those weird things where it's like I can't argue with what you're saying. I see your points entirely. I just feel like it just didn't bother me as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was fine with what they did. But yeah, I totally see what you're saying, and it definitely was like obviously lighter. Like you say, like even like a big like a world-ending portal ripping through Metropolis and leveling cities. It was like they were still dropping gags, and it was like it wasn't didn't
Yeah.
seem that didn't seem like it was there was that many stakes at play there. But no, like I was just so fully on board with with the tone they were doing and with the lightness that I was happy to just go with it.
How did you guys find the chemistry between Clark and Lois in this one?
I think the actors have really good chemistry, like really good natural chemistry, and I think both of them are perfect for this part. And I think me and Caitlin both agreed that the best scene in the movie is the scene where Lois is interviewing
Yeah,
Definitely,
Clark.
that's a
definitely.
great scene. Yeah, I kind of wish they hadn't put that in the trailer, to be honest.
Well, and like, so it's hard to not compare it to Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder, where they're like meeting for the first time and like having this instant attraction and then falling in love right away, and like you sort of believe in like their chemistry is just so palpable. And this one's different in that like it's plopping you right into the middle of a relationship, but then you're seeing a very realistic fight between couples who care about each other a lot. But like you kind of missed that like you lose a little bit of the chemistry by starting kind of after the honeymoon phase a little bit.
Yeah, I honestly just had a thought, and a bit of me feels like this is almost like a Superman 2 movie, and we just didn't get the we just didn't get the first movie that had all that the relationship building and all the Clark Kent at the Daily Planet, which I kind of missed in this movie. I wanted to see more of that, but they were like, "Oh no, that's already happened. We're like 3 years later now, and we're into this." And I'm like, "Okay, I can get on board with that." But part of me's like, "Oh, I wish I'd seen all that."
Well,
I'm so glad you said that. I've said like almost something to the exact same effect of this. It feels like James Gunn wanted to just do a Superman sequel. He wanted to do Superman 2. And this kind of feels, and Will and I have been exchanging very long voice memos of rewriting the first act of this movie, and then maybe talking about turning it into a prequel almost of how we could make, because there are a lot of parts of this that we really liked. And so kind of Frankensteining all of those together to make maybe 2 separate movies, which it seems like maybe would have worked more for us.
I think it was like it was on purpose though, right? I think it's by design. I think he was like we've seen that movie, and nobody like maybe nobody wants to see it again. I'm not saying nobody wants to see it again, but maybe they were like, we don't need to do the origin and the like that's been done to death. Let's just drop it in and do different things.
In a world where like the Snyderverse stuff didn't exist, like maybe James Gunn would have gone for more of like an origin story, but like the fact that people are looking for more of a clean break from the Zack Snyder thing, like they're just kind of skipping ahead to it. And then sorry, go ahead, Will.
I don't disagree. No, you're fine. I don't disagree with that like stance that like people don't want to see another origin because they've seen it like over and over again. The only thing I'll push back on in terms of that is I understand that audiences today maybe don't want to see that, but when you're creating a new cinematic universe and you want like these versions of these characters to stand the test of time, I feel like you owe it to your audience to like at least try a version of it. And hey, maybe there's like a flashback in Superman 2 where we get more of that. So I think it's still possible, but it's like if you want these to be the definitive versions of these characters, I feel like eventually at least they have to show more of like Superman's backstory. And I'm sure we will get it, but it was just jarring going into this being like the first version.
Well, and I think but the decisions they made for this story were very much like, this version of Clark Kent is so cut off from his Kryptonian background. Like, all he knows about his parents is a 30-second record thing.
Yeah.
So then,
if
that's the story you wanted to go with, then, like, the backstory is a little less important because, like, like the Clark Kent we see is really just a Kansas boy, right? Like, who happens to know that he's an alien.
Okay, you swayed me a little bit on that, honestly.
Yeah, I also find it interesting because I feel like I wonder how much of the business model informed some of the decisions, because I feel like they were like, we need to put something out there to show people this is what this new universe is going to be, and we need you to be on board, and we need it to like people to get on with it so that we can then continue with our like slate of movies. If they'd started with like trying to do like the Iron Man of this new universe and do like a proper centralized Superman origin story, if a majority of the audience were like, we don't care about this, we've seen this before, then Warner Brothers might have been like, okay, maybe we're not doing another Disney universe.
Right.
So I feel like there might be a bit that's like, look, this is the universe. It's going to have tons of people in it. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be like this guy's here. Like, there's so much stuff going on, though. It's going to be great. It's going to be tons of movies, and like that worked for me. It hooked me in, and I'm like, I want to see all these guys' stories now. But I get the desire to like, no, you know what? I'd rather have just seen a simplified version of Superman's story so we can get behind this character.
No, I don't disagree with you guys, and I actually have a question for you guys because you've been watching all the Superman movies. In terms of this version of Superman basically having no connection to his like Kryptonian heritage to a real extent and just being like a Kansas boy, me and Caitlin have been talking a lot about like the idea of like what is real, Superman or Clark Kent? Like what's the real version of the guy, or are they both real versions of the guy? And I kind of want to hear your guys' take on, like, across all the different versions of Superman, like, which ones do you feel Superman is more the real guy, and which ones do you feel like Clark Kent is more the real guy, or do you feel like it's all one and the same?
Well, the answer I'm going to steal from David Corenswet, because I think in a recent interview, I think he put it really, really well, and it fits with, like, the checklist of what we're looking for, and, like, this is the perfect Superman portrayal on screen. Is like you have Superman, who is like basically like a persona. It's stoic, it's idealistic, and it's like kind of like vanilla and boring. And then you have like bumbling Daily Planet Clark Kent, which like is like a parody of the human race. And then you have like a third person who's like some sort of combination between the two of them, and like the only people who know that version are his parents and Lois Lane, when she happens to know that is like his real identity. It's like, so it's basically like there's three, and like two of them are kind of fake, but then they're also like baked into it like that. So that's my answer.
I hadn't seen that quote, but yeah, that's
a really
perfect.
good interview.
It's like the Smallville version of Clark Kent.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that.
No, but I don't mean the TV show. I mean when he's in Smallville. Yeah, let's not get into that. Like when he's at home, that's when he's all his guards down, all his facades fall away, and he's just a normal person. But I did find that interesting because in this movie, I feel like he never referred to himself as Kal-El.
Yeah, this version is not like a Kal-El version.
I don't think anyone ever says it. Maybe his dad says it in the recording.
I know it's credited as it.
In the message in Kryptonian, Jor-El at some point does say Kal-El, but it's not like subtitled like he's saying like Kal-El. Like they don't mention Kal-El, but I distinctly remember Bradley Cooper saying Kal-El amongst a bunch of other gibberish words. But like they're not trying to do Kal-El at all. I agree with you. But no, I think that's a good point, that it's like the reality is somewhere in between, and like that is actually a really good grounding way to like portray this character, because like we all are that to some extent. Like we talk to some people some way, and then we talk to other people another way, and the reality of who we are is like, you know, somewhere in between all of that. So like,
you save it for your people.
Well, and what I did like about this version of the character is like he kind of doesn't know who he is, and like he's trying to figure it out. Like he's like, yeah, I'm a Kryptonian. Like, a Kryptonian means this, and like he actually had no idea, right? Like it's like a third generation American or Canadian or whatever who's like, you know, yeah, I'm obviously I'm Irish because my grandparents were from Ireland, right? But then he has no idea what that actually means because he's lived here his whole life.
Well, and I think it's also something that we talked about of, I know that it doesn't match up because they say in the opening crawl that he's 30, but there's some interview where James Gunn says that he's 25, that Clark is 25, and I think that is so the 25-year-old experience of like not really knowing who you are. Yeah.
No, like they definitely did like the Jesus thing where he was 30 when he told the world, and it's been 3 years since then, so he's 33 when he gets crucified.
Into the 3 on the opening text. I don't really know why he did that, but
cool. Well, because every Superman has to do like the he's secretly Jesus.
I feel like they really tried not to do that with this one though.
But why was he 33 then? Like, come on. Fair enough. Well, I had a couple of questions for you guys. if you're up for it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, go ahead.
So like we were really gushing over Ma and Pa Kent in this one. Though like I felt like maybe they were a bit too southern. In this one, like I don't know if I don't think of Kansas as like that southern, but I don't know. But I was gonna ask like what is your perfect Superman or superhero parent? Like what's the best parent in all of superhero movies?
Oh.
You'd have to
I mean,
include
to be
like
honest-
aunts and uncles,
Guardians, and
dead uncles.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, we talked about it a little bit in our episode about this movie, but we both really liked Ma and Pa Kent in this movie. I don't know if you guys did as well.
we did, yeah.
Yeah,
But it actually worked really well for us. And I talked a lot about how, like, they're kind of portraying this version of the dad as maybe he's not that smart of a guy, like in a very literal sense, but he has a lot of emotional intelligence and just loves his son so much. And that was a really emotional moment for me and really rang true for me. So like, to me, I think, Jonathan Kent in this new Superman is totally a fine answer to say that's someone who I would want to be my parent.
Yeah, I was honestly tearing up a little bit in that scene. Like it was really
Me
working
too.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
That was a great scene with him and his dad for sure. Yeah.
How about you, Caitlin?
Not
Just for this scene, but all movies.
I do really love, I really loved this iteration of Ma and Pa Kent. Big fan of that. But I also love like a very messy parent. I think that's always fun. I love that kind of source of tension and drama. I love like a very fraught relationship. I think that's always just very intriguing to watch. So I don't know. I think I could take either. I think it's always just like such a great well for personal conflict.
Yeah, like
But,
I guess like Howard
we've-
Stark is a good example of that,
Yeah.
like of the frayed relationship, and then how they bring that all home in Endgame with like that heartbreaking scene.
Yeah.
that
Like
they
that's a
have
great
together.
scene, yeah.
Oh,
And it
that's really
takes
well
so
done. Yeah.
much development to get to that. Like
Yeah,
and just so
true,
much
true.
mess. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, no, and Marvel has so many like frayed relationships
Yep.
between children and parents, and we've talked a lot on our show already about how much we love the relationship and the dynamics between Yelena
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a
in
great
Thunderbolts
one.
and then Red Guardian, her father, and also in Black Widow as well. But like I don't know if you guys know this, but our entire podcast has basically become Thunderbolts
I
cast.
didn't know
Oh, really?
how long it was
Yeah,
going
we
to
lo-
take
we
for
love-
us to
we love
bring up
Thunderbolts.
Yeah, we were
Thunderbolts.
very high on Thunderbolts
Yeah,
as well.
we love Thunderbolts.
Yeah, but we just talk about it all the
We
time.
can't
But
stop.
we can't stop talking about Thunderbolts. But like Red Guardian and Yelena is also a great answer because they have such a strange relationship, and it's good to see. I think it's important to see like a dad who like really doesn't know what he's doing, but then at the end of the day, like in Thunderbolts, he still has such a good emotional connection to his daughter and knows like what to say to her to make her feel valuable. So I think that's for both me and Caitlin, that's also like our other answer. We love Thunderbolts and we love Red Guardian.
Yeah. Oh man, when I was writing that question, I wasn't even thinking of the angle of like, what's a kind of toxic relationship or like what's a complicated relationship. So I think that's a great way to come at
Yeah.
that question.
Don't
for
don't
sure.
psychoanalyze these answers too much.
Yeah. Oh
He's got a
my other
notepad
answer
here, you
is
can't see it.
Wanda because I
Interesting.
love WandaVision. And
Yeah.
even though she's insane and I think Caitlin said this on one of our episodes, she was like, Wanda, there's nothing Wanda wouldn't do for her children. So it's like that's actually a great mom to have in your corner.
Yeah, that's like including like murdering a version of herself. Like that's honestly
totally.
like that's badass mom power.
Yep.
Exactly.
The other question I had was, so you guys recently just watched Spider-Man. So who is like the least ethical journalist? Is Tobey Maguire in that first Spider-Man movie or David Corenswet in this movie? Like one is taking pictures of themselves and selling it, and one is like writing puff pieces about themselves.
Yes.
I think Superman in this movie is way less ethical than Spider-Man
right?
because Spider-Man is just getting good photos, but like Superman is literally like trying to create a narrative on the
Right.
page, like
Yeah,
with
yeah.
words, like about himself, and I'm just like, okay, bro, like
I didn't like that
You
part
have to
of it.
let other
Yeah.
people interview you.
Yeah.
Like I guess like they had to do that to get to the great interview scene between him and
True.
Lois. But like yeah, I think like
Yeah.
Superman would always just let Lois interview him, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that historically, that's the way he's gone, right? He's supposed to have integrity, and he didn't have it in this one. For sure. Oh, great question, though, Trevor.
Well, thanks. Yeah. I can't remember if I had any more.
I didn't know how well prepared you were for this.
Oh yeah, so the one thing I wanted to ask, so the new DC universe, they're doing like an in-canon universe and like it's called
I think
Elseworld,
they're calling it Elseworlds, yeah.
where they have like
Yeah.
different stuff. So like the Matt Reeves
Batman.
Batman's movies are going to be separate from like this universe of Superman. So there's going to be 2 different Batman. Do you think that that's confusing to a general audience coming at it who's not aware of the mechanics and the structure of what James Gunn's doing with this universe?
I mean, I'll
I
certainly
want
tell you.
Caitlin to answer this first.
It's certainly confusing to me. There's so much of this that's confusing to me, and I don't know. Maybe it just makes me sound like a particular dumbass, but yes, it is. A lot of it is very, very confusing.
Yeah, I could
My answer to this question is I feel like there's still a chance that they do incorporate the Matt Reeves Batman universe into the DCU, and I think they're waiting to see how this movie goes over. Like the fact that, and this is just me kind of having my tinfoil hat on, like the fact that the quote script for the Batman Part 2 has been in development for like 3 years, and they just got it finalized, and they're not going to start filming until like early next year. I kind of have this tinfoil hat theory that they are considering folding that Batman into this universe, but Matt Reeves was going to wait to see how James Gunn's Superman was received by audiences to allow him to fold his universe in. Maybe that's not true. Maybe James Gunn, I know he said on the record many, many times, they can't connect at all. It doesn't make sense. I have to do my own Batman. I kind of feel like behind the scenes, they're like emailing each other, like, can we please put Robert Pattinson in the DCU?
I think you're right. Like honestly, like it because it was a long time he was working on that script.
I wonder if they added a scene at the end where it's like, and then Robert Pattinson's Batman gets sucked into a vortex and ends up in a different universe.
Exactly. No, but like the thing is, I don't care about. Well, I shouldn't say I don't care about plots not being convoluted, because me and Caitlin, a lot of our problems with this Superman movie was that the plot was too convoluted. But in a general universe sense, I don't really care if like the narrative of like who's from what universe, I don't care if that's confusing or not. I just care about a movie standing on its own and being good. So if Matt Reeves' Batman movies are good, I don't care that they're not in the DCU. If James Gunn is able to pull off his own Batman movie, releasing around the same time, and it's also a good Batman movie, I don't care. I'm fine with that too.
Oh, great. Well, the follow-up question I was going to have is that, you know, you guys do these drafts at the end of your episodes. So who would you draft from the MCU to be a version of Batman in the DCU?
Oh, you mean like an actor?
Yeah, like an actor.
Oh, that's a good shout.
I can ask this one for you too, because this is new. Pete got excited, so you can answer too.
I want to think about that. Oh, who would you pick?
Because there were already a lot of Marvel actors in this movie, as you guys pointed out. Wendell Pierce being among them.
Wendell Pierce Summer.
Yeah.
Wendell Pierce's Batman.
I wasn't suggesting
I don't know how.
Maybe that's my answer. Wendell Pierce Batman.
Yeah. I don't know how well he would work, but like I'm just thinking about like, you know, in Captain America the Winter Soldier, when Bucky, you know, like takes off his mask and he's got like the like black eyeshadow on, and obviously Bucky is such like a brooding character. I wonder if there's a world in which Sebastian Stan could play a version of Batman.
Yeah, that I think you could definitely do that. There's definitely parallels with that character in that movie for sure.
Yeah, like he certainly fit in the Matt Reeves movie for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have an answer?
I
don't have an answer.
I was just gonna say.
Okay.
I was gonna say you got to just give it to Pedro Pascal because he's in everything.
Yeah, well, honestly, he'd probably be fine.
He'd be fine in everything. That's why he keeps getting cast. You can do whatever you want.
Because this version of Batman's gonna be a dad.
Yeah,
a dad
exactly.
bat, right? He's gonna have Damian.
Yeah, and he's good at doing that. He's done it before.
Yeah,
many times. He's done it a couple of times quite well.
Yeah. But it's funny that you guys brought up the drafts that me and Caitlin do at the end of our episodes, because I actually have a question for you guys.
Okay.
And to preface this, for your audience who doesn't listen to our show. On me and Caitlin's show, at the end of every episode, we draft, or maybe don't draft, characters from the movies that we watch onto our own personal teams. We each have an Avengers team of, quote, heroes and a Sinister Six team of villains. And then at the end of season 1, which is going to be like after our first year of doing this podcast, our teams are going to battle in a big like Dungeons and Dragons style battle. And I had this idea that whenever we have some sort of guest on, not that you guys would draft people to our teams, because I don't want to give you that power, but I am wondering if the two of you each have one random side character from this new Superman movie that you would love to draft into our big season finale as like a stupid cameo. And they won't be battling with our teams, but we'll find a way to incorporate them and have them say or do something very stupid.
I think like I guess the boring answer is Mr. Terrific. Like I'd want him to be my guy.
I was going to go Guy Gardner.
Yeah, well, there you go.
You got to have him show up and do something crazy on the sideline.
There you go.
Okay, I think that's perfect. We will,
even with the terrible
I don't know
haircut
why
and
I did this to
everything.
myself.
So they'll be on the sideline and they're kind of like unfairly impacting the results of the fight. That's the idea.
Exactly.
I think so.
Okay.
Or like maybe they're like talking to a newscaster, being like, "Well, I would have done this fight way better."
Just generally getting up to some bullshit on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although you know what, I might change my answer to Supergirl, because like that end appearance was pretty great.
I'm looking
Like,
forward to that movie for sure.
Yeah. Maybe she's like partying somewhere, and then like
I hope
she doesn't even realize there's like some big fight happening.
I hope that's just the whole movie. It's just her living her best life, and she's not even
no
fighting anybody.
superpowers or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have one final question for you guys. I
Sure.
don't know if you're going to talk about this, on the other parts of your own episode. I think your whole Superman series was like a really cool idea, and obviously you're way more knowledgeable about Superman than like we are. I'm wondering, do you guys have plans for like another series like this in the future, where you're going to like watch a bunch of one specific thing in addition to just like going to the movie theater?
Well, it's like it's sort of the second time that we've done
We
this.
started
Like
recently, right? Yeah.
we've only been doing it sort of since January.
Yeah.
right. Like
This year, I think we started. Yeah.
so, like our first project is we watched every Aardman movie, like the stop motion animation studio who does Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah.
Because Pete's British, right? So he's seen most of that stuff already. So we went through all that.
Yeah, well, it's because the new movie came out, right? The new
Yeah.
Wallace and Gromit movie dropped on Netflix, so we kind of used that as a springboard. And then for this one, we tried to time it more where we were like ramping up to a final thing. So we were actually talking about this because we were trying to figure out our next project now. And
We've not thought of that yet.
We've not got a big long list like you guys, but
Yeah, you don't have to have this like a show meeting with us on mic. You don't.
No,
Have
but,
to,
but we're looking for
if you
suggestions.
guys ever have suggestions, Pete was throwing out like the Conjuring universe, because I haven't seen any of those movies.
Yeah.
But if you guys have any suggestions, happy to hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you guys like kind of like pulpy horror stuff, like the Conjuring universe is very fun. I mean, I genuinely think the first Conjuring movie, I know Caitlin is like completely checked out at this point because she doesn't watch anything horror related, but the first Conjuring movie is genuinely like, I think, a masterpiece, and then I think it's funny to like watch that universe just kind of devolve into absolute nonsense. I think it would be good for the type of show that you guys do.
All right, cool. Well, there you go. We've done it. You heard it here first, guys.
Wow, exclusive.
For another plug for your podcast, like right now you're going through Superman July, and you've covered the 1978 movie. Now you've done this one. Your podcast on this episode this movie's already out. So people definitely check that out. And what are the next two that you're covering?
Okay, so let me correct you real quick.
Okay, sorry.
They're done with
I might have had a misconception.
They're done with
So we're
Superman.
actually not doing Superman July. We're doing Super Fantastic July.
Oh,
So
okay, sorry.
It's Fantastic
we
Four.
usually release our episodes every other week, but because we had a new Superman movie and a new Fantastic Four movie coming out this month, we decided to do weekly releases. So to prepare for the new Superman, we did an episode on the 1978 original Christopher Reeve Superman movie. And now we have an episode out right now while you're listening to it. We have an episode out on this movie. And then next week, we are going to be releasing an episode on the 2005 version of Fantastic Four.
Oh,
And then the
cool.
week after that, we will obviously be covering Fantastic Four First Steps, which is the new Marvel Studios Fantastic Four that's coming out in a couple weeks.
Looking forward to that one for sure.
Okay, so sorry, that was, and I thought you guys were going to be picking like another 2 Superman movies. So that's me just not listening very well. So
No, but we are going to cover Superman 2 later this year.
Okay,
so
I
we will
I
get
thought
to
that I
it.
had heard that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
No, we are going to get to it, but just not right now.
Katelyn, have you seen Superman 2 yet?
No, when we watched the 78 Superman, that was basically my first brush
Yeah.
with this character
Yeah.
in a major way. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, and Will, you said you've seen Superman 2, right?
I've seen all 4 of
Okay.
those Superman movies.
Yeah, because so I'm excited to hear that episode, because on our episode on Superman 2, I was gushing about how romantic I thought it was as a movie. So
Me too.
interested to
Awesome.
hear your guys' thoughts on that.
Yes.
No, it's funny because like we have joked a lot on our show that like me and Caitlin are like from the like 2013 like Tumblr era of like fandom where it's just like people our age like just like gushing over characters and like writing stupid fan fiction. So like when I watched Superman 2 for the first time just a few months ago, I was like there are parts of that movie, like the romantic parts, where it feels like I wasn't watching an actual Superman movie. I was watching like a 14-year-old's fan fiction. That,
Why
like,
didn't
they
you
wrote about
lead
these
with that?
characters.
We should have watched this ages ago. I didn't know it was like that.
And like I do, and to be clear, I mean that as a positive. I don't mean that as a
Yes.
negative.
Right,
I like
exactly,
Superman
yeah,
2
yeah.
more than Superman 1 because of that.
Oh yeah, we got to get on this.
Oh yeah, I think you'll definitely like that aspect of it. There are some very bonkers
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
going on in that movie, which I wholeheartedly love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great
Great.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but anyway, so I hate to cut us off because we're having such a great chat, but
Yeah, we'll have to do this again for sure.
yeah. So wanted to plug again, Marvelous Marathon. Thanks to Will and Katelyn for coming out and talking to us.
Yeah, thanks guys. Really appreciate
Yeah,
guys
thank
coming
you
on.
so much. Thank you so much for having us, and we will have to have you guys on our podcast
Yeah,
at some point
definitely.
soon.
For sure. Yeah, I wanted to talk Marvel stuff, definitely.
Awesome. Come on over.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Sure.
We appreciate it.
All right,
All right,
guys,
thank
thanks.
you.
Thanks.
Did we mention the cups on the way here?
The cups? Which cups? Oh no, we
What?
didn't.
What the hell?
I think we did mention.
What the hell do you mean?
I
which
thought you
cups?
meant the cups in the movie. I was like, did Mr. Terrific have like weird cups?
No, like I got
The
two
legit cups.
2 cups, and like
Collector's edition
you
cups.
you thought I was a fool for wanting these
Yeah, I
cups,
was like,
and then
you're
when
insane paying that much money for
when
the
you saw
cups.
them up close, you're like, these are pretty good
They're
cups.
nice cups. They're nice cups.
So I got one with a Superman topper and one with a crypto topper.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
they did look pretty great.
I'm gonna give them to my kids tomorrow, and I can't wait to see who's gonna fight over the crypto one. Like that,
Ooh, yeah.
or I don't know.
Just
I'll
give
see-
them,
I'll
just
see
give
how it
them
goes.
5 minutes, and then they'll be bored of it, and then you can just put it back on the shelf. That's
No,
what I
like,
do when I give my
I think
kids
they're
stuff.
I think they're gonna play with those toppers for a long time. Like they might be broken by this time tomorrow.
Oh, that's
so-
true. They'll be broken or stuffed down the couches.
Yeah, but I think the cups will survive.
Yeah.
Not the maybe not the toppers.
Well, let's hope so. They're
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Well, anyways, we don't know what our next project's gonna be. So
No, yeah. If
Uh,
anyone's got suggestions, let us know. Like, is there something we can do running up to something? I mean, don't know if we could really do like, let's rewatch all the Tron movies. It's something like-
there's 2 of them, right? Like, is there?
that's what I'm really pretty sure.
I mean, I'd be up for it.
Yeah,
That's a nice
Trying to
that's a nice
trying to
short
think of what
project.
over like
Is there a-
franchise movies are coming out.
Is there other Tron media that we could loop in with
There
that?
must be. I think it was like a kids TV show. There's video games,
Right.
but that's really. No, yeah, you guys tell us. What do you want to do? What are you excited to see?
Sounds like you want to do Tron.
I was trying to think of what movies that have other movies are coming out. We could do there's a Conjuring movie coming out, isn't there? We could do all the Conjuring movies.
That's true.
I've not seen most of those.
I've
so
not
that would-
I've not seen any
That
of
would
them.
be. Oh, really?
No.
Well, maybe we'll do that.
It's
Just be terrified.
a Conjuring.
Is that like Annabelle and stuff?
Yeah, that's like Amityville horror, right? Is that
I don't know.
is that adjacent to that universe, or
I don't-
is that James Wan who did Conjuring?
I think so.
Okay, and Patrick Wilson is that Conjuring, or I'm
Is
thinking of
that
something else?
Is that The Conjuring or is that? No, I think you're right. It shows how much we know. We'll research it. We've got on.
Anyways, honestly, we've thrown our heart and soul into the Superman project, so much so that we've not really given much thought to what lies ahead.
Maybe we should just continue watching Superman things. Let's just watch Smallville. We'll do a break-off pod. We'll do a Smallville podcast.
All right.
And we'll do a Tyler Hoechlin appreciation podcast. Then we'll watch Superman and Lois.
Okay, there we go. So, as you leave us now at somewhat of an existential crisis, it sounds like, of what to do next.
And I don't.
Thanks for listening. If you've made it through the whole project with us,
and I know we promised we would tell you where this movie ranks or where this actor ranks, but I don't really want to do that right now. It's too late.
I don't want to do that right now either. Like it's gonna be close to the top. I would say.
Yeah, I would say so too. I do love Tyler. I need to see more Clark Kent. That's my thing. I want to see more Clark Kent.
Yeah, I'd love to see what got cut out of here, because I think it's sort of unfair to judge him based off of the criteria we established on the way here.
I did really appreciate how different his hair was as Clark Kent.
It was great.
He looked like, what's the guy from the It Crowd?
It did,
right?
Yeah, Richard Coyote, right?
Yeah, I was like, wow, he looks just like him. So that's why I like it. But then when he got to his desk, it wasn't as wild. It's like, oh, he doesn't look much like him anymore.
That's the hypno glasses.
That must have been, right? Anyway, let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up.
Are we going to give a rating?
We rate things at a 6.5 on this podcast.
We do.
I don't know where I'd officially land. It's going to be over 6 for me.
Yeah, I'd give it a solid 6 for sure.
Maybe I'll land at 6 right now and then give a think on it. I don't want to say something crazy.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a perfect movie.
No. I'd say it might be my second favorite Gunn movie, but it still is pretty early.
It's a good show.
But Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite MCU movie.
Yeah.
So
I really love that movie too. The first one.
Yeah,
it's great.
And I love the Suicide Squad too. That's pretty high
it's really
up there.
good too.
So I don't know. He's a good director, man. It's a good guy to put in charge. And if you don't like his thing, then maybe it's going to be a long 10 years for you.
Yeah, that is going to be tough if you're not a big fan of it. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So I'm coming in at a 6. I'd honestly like to see it again.
Yeah,
to really solidify my opinion.
I'm legit wondering if I can get to seeing it tomorrow.
Do you think your son would like to see it?
I don't know. He might be too young for it. There's some sweary words in it.
There is, but I think this is a pretty family-friendly movie overall.
I would say so. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Is there anything that's too violent or gory? I don't think so.
I don't know. We should wrap it up.
Yeah, let's go to bed. Let's go. I was going to say let's go to bed. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, you go to bed in your house, and I go to bed in my house.
It's not Bert and Ernie. Anyway, until then, until that mental image burns into your brain.
Yeah, see you later, Bert.
It's a lot of work.